and gentlemen, and welcome to the 472nd episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I am the Blizzard Bastard, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by...
Blizzard Bastard.
Oh,
wow.
yeah, the Blizzard Bastard. I know I didn't change my name from Moon Knight, but whatever.
I am the Captain Norway, Taylor Field.
Captain Norway. We can't talk about that to the very end of the show because we got a lot of fun topics tonight. Nothing like we got one massive thing, of course, for Taylor. He's very excited about it. But we got Jurassic World trailer. We're gonna be, for people, if they see it in the notes, don't worry. We're gonna be, there was a TV spot for Doctor Strange. Me and Taylor are gonna talk about because we don't really consider it a spoiler. It's out there in the public, but it's gonna be the last topic. So if you don't want to know anything about this scene or cameo or person they've shown, you can skip it, or there'll be a cutout version. So that's gonna be the very last topic. Usually we tackle MCU, DC, Star Wars up front, but just because some people are staying away from it, we'll put it at the very back. But we got that. We got Avatar to talk. It's a fucking Taylor show.
Oh,
we got
yeah.
Avatar, Jurassic World, and Tales of the Jedi. What happened here? You know what? I'm just gonna let you hope.
Oh, well, there we go. First of all, I'm enjoying like this magnificent. Look at this blizzard we got.
Oh, you had the
Queen.
picture ready too.
I took the picture. Yeah,
You
It
actually
is-
got it.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, it's so. It's,
I thought you
they
were
call it
joking.
No, I was serious. They call it the dirt pie. It has
Yeah.
Oreo chunks in there, and the gummies are incredibly flavorful. There's the bright consistency, super soft and like jelly-like. So it tastes fantastic.
So is this the like? Please don't tell me this is the first time you've heard of a dirt pie.
No, I've had
Okay.
like worms and dirt and stuff like that, but I've
Yeah.
never had like the Oreos mixed in with gummy worms and stuff.
So it's so funny. So tonight we had Gwen soccer. It's every Monday and Thursday. So we are like, okay, we're gonna get some ice cream after, do a little treat, and plus you went and get ice cream today because the coupon was about to expire, right?
There's a coupon?
Oh well,
I just used my app for the points.
Oh, okay. We had a buy one get the other one $1.99. So that's what we did till the end of May, to the end of April. So we only had a few more days. Tomorrow we're doing Costco because we haven't had the Costco poutine in a while, so that's good. And Saturday we're going out for dinner. We're gonna go see the Bad Guys with the kids. We're gonna take the kids to see the Bad Guys. You remember what that is, Taylor? That popular children's
That's that
book.
fucking book, yeah.
Blizzard review cutout. Oh yeah, that to me, S Bubs, always good to see you. That should definitely, we should save that for after 9 or like with Patreon. We're gonna be doing some more exclusive content, but it's gonna be just kind of general talk. We'll talk about geek stuff, but just stuff in general about what we want to do. Is here, this is a mini announcement, a scoop for people. That's what's gonna scoop out of me. Is we want to try and do something for Patreon where we can try and get as many of the geek as possible together, because obviously, as you see, we do multiple casts a week, Halo reviews, Moon Knight, this and that. So lots of times we're split up into teams or stuff to be like, hey, Dylan and Taylor, you're doing Moon Knight for the month so we can actually do this content because we're all so busy. But we're trying to do an episode where we get like at least, Jessica's a bit harder to nail her down, but at least 4 of us, 5 of us together and shoot the shit. That would be a great conversation. So I'll definitely put that in the bank there. But yeah, so we had the same idea. Go for Blizzards, use the coupon I got. So I'm a huge, again, we'll say this more for that in-depth review in time, but my 2 go-tos are Oreo and Reese's. I had 2 parts of my life where I'd say probably till about 19 or so, I was Oreos my whole life. Nothing better than Oreos. And I met Emily. Reese's was her favorite. Tried that, and man, those chunks in there just fucking delicious for Reese's. So I was always the 2 Blizzard man. I go back and forth. 1 year I'm all Oreos, 1 year I'm all Reese's. That's why I love those coupons, because I'll go and get 2 and I'll eat them all like a fucking burglar. I just ate 2 large Blizzards, but this time, no, didn't get the Oreo, didn't get the Reese's. I shared some with the kids and Emily, but I got what for some reason, I don't know why, I'm not even a big fan of it in its natural form, but the cotton candy Blizzards, holy fuck. Those, have you ever had the cotton candy Blizzard, Taylor?
Maybe a long time. I know I've had it at least once in my life.
They only bring it back for summer, so if you got until like August or September, but get it. It is so good. My God, it's so sweet. It just has the right amount of sweetness and ice cream. Like I said, I love those other 2, but that one might be my favorite. I just power through them, and I do want to try. I saw when we were driving through, they have a Reese's cookie dough one. I gotta try.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and I saw it last minute, and I was happy that I got 2 cotton candies, but I regretted it a little bit because like, oh, I should have got cotton candy.
You did 2 of the same.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I thought you mixed and matched.
No, well, because It just came back. It just came back like last week. So that's why I want to enjoy it. It's like the Shamrock Shake. I try and get that. I only got it once this year, but usually I'll try and double up. So all those, seasonal flavors are here. You got to get them. Why not?
That's true. I'm a big sucker for the pumpkin pie. When that one rolls around in the fall, I usually do, I limit myself, but I usually do 2 to 3 throughout its period of
It's
time.
so good, especially that top part where they got the spice and the whipped cream. Oh my God. The other one that I'm waiting for, because we're making people, if they like Dairy Queen Blizzards, they're so hungry right now. They want a Blizzard. But what I think, let's see, we talked about this too. I think the last, SBUB says, I think the last time I got a Blizzard was for Fallen Kingdom promotion, funny enough. You brought on the cast, I'm pretty sure. There's some, because I think we were recording, that's 2018, we were recording the Marvel retros, the original ones for the MCU. And I think you had it. I remember you bringing it to my house or something, and it had like the promotional marking, and it
had the Jurassic World Cup and everything, right?
Yeah. I know. I remember that. It was like it wasn't like Choco Crunch or chocolate like.
Yeah, it was an exclusive event like when they did. I remember that too.
Yeah. But the other one, so they have the milkshakes of it, but they don't have the Blizzards back. Is the S'mores Blizzard? You ever had that?
I have had that actually.
That one's another good one too. That's another banger. So yeah, we'll have to rank them and whatnot. It's there's a couple of those that I'm not really, and then there's some Blizzards that just like, not really for me. Like I've never been a Smarties Blizzard guy. It's just there's something about it that I've tried it, but maybe I just don't like Smarties in general that much. Or M&Ms.
I love Smarties. M&Ms are good. They have a cherry with chocolate chunks one that I really, really like. I'm a sucker for cherry and strawberry ice cream.
Oh, that makes sense. But so one day we'll talk more in depth about these Blizzards. And it's been a good night so far. So, ladies and gentlemen, lots to talk about. Taylorfield, where can they find everything we talk about and everything we do?
Everything we do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. And GeekVerse on our Facebook. Be sure to check us out on the Patreon. We get ad-free exclusive early episodes, including the Halo episodes, which me and Dylan just did earlier today. Every week, Kirklin joins those two on occasion. And there you have it.
Yeah, I joined for the first one, but Taylor's banned me from them all. They keep telling me to catch up, and then it's like, oh no, sorry, we're doing so. Oh no, sorry. So I still might go listen to your last review because you guys said it was so wild, and even if I have no context of whatnot. But check out the Halo reviews. How many episodes? What is it? Episode 5 now?
We're on episode 6, and there is 9 episodes total, I believe. So 3 more to go.
Is it 9 or 10? I thought it was 10, but maybe
I believe
it's 9.
it was 9.
Okay,
Last I checked,
enough.
it was 9. Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry. I had to quickly respond to Kyle because I sent him a song earlier. I'll pimp it out. It's called Be Right There by Deeplo and Sleepy Tom. I work at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow, but I sent it to him because it's a really I wanted to be in the club like right away, right back to being in the club. And then he just sent me an Australian like club mix, so I'm going to be listening to that because my job when I do the shift at 4:30 a.m. I'm like alone, so I'm just like banging club music and oh man, I'm a dad. I'm retired from the club life, but your boy definitely misses it sometimes. There's nothing more, Taylor, I love than just being moshing with a bunch of people and we're just dancing and having a good time. Like, oof.
I can see you going back to the club. You took me there on my bachelor party.
Yeah, that's true. But like, there's just the clubs aren't the way they used to be. But you know what is good is our Patreon. Head over to Patreon and you can get ad-free exclusive early episodes. You can still play it. We're still going, Taylor. It was even looped too. Bring those ducks back. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm the one editing the news.
I already shouted out the Patreon and you're going back into it, so.
Yeah, but I do the full thing. But here you are. I'm trying to do the plugs and you're just cutting me off.
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on.
Now, you know what's good? It kept playing music while that was happening. While I did the penguin. But yes, like we said, in May we're going to be doing a bit more exclusive stuff there. After 9 is a big one. You can come join the audience next month because May, it's 28th, I think it is, right? I keep forgetting the date. This is way too rocking for ads. May 28th, 6 p.m. I feel like I'm in like Spike TV in the middle of a Gone Girls Wild video. Like, oh, get 3 tapes right now. 3 tapes, 2 dicks, 1 tit for $9.99. You can have it all, but don't tell your girlfriend. And then it cuts to the girl like, shh, we'll never tell. But you know what they'll be telling you? Head over to Geek First Patreon, get that because you get ad-free exclusive early episodes. all good stuff. You get to support us. The more you support us, the more content you create, the more retros you create, side quests, all these different reviews, newscasts is all because of you and you, the American, Canadian, North American, UK people. Do that right now. And yeah, everything's down below where to find us, our video, audio feeds. All right, you can cut that off. You can cut those Girls Gone Wild video. What an era that used to be. I just remember you'd be watching Spike and you'd wake up at 3 a.m. and just like obviously they blurred out the privates and everything, but it was just seeing at an age where I definitely shouldn't be seeing it and just being, man, what is happening on my TV right now? You know, it was a daunting time. But yeah, so yeah, let's talk about some news right now. I don't think there's anything. Oh, well, I guess also big thing, Doctor Strange next week will be going live like late Thursday night for everybody, but then Friday morning it'll be there on the feed. And then also, actually, well, I'll say that when we get to the Avatar talk because we'll have another little mini cutout as well. So Taylor Field, time to talk about Jurassic World. You're worried all day, I bet, about how it's going to get bumped. There's one thing I talked to him about the Marvel news. He's like, this wouldn't bump the Jurassic World main image, wouldn't, you know? Because
from the thumbnail, yeah.
Yeah, because Taylor, when he's getting Jurassic World news, he's just like a pig in shit, pig in mud. You know, he's having a good time. When I get Jurassic World news, I'm like,
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on.
I have to make up for it because I didn't do any last week, and plus I'm editing, so I don't feel bad because I got to edit those all in for you, the listeners. But so Taylor Field, well, last time you and I had talked, you had not watched the trailer yet. How you feel about the trailer? And also, I have some Patreon questions from Maddie, so remind me about that. But I also have a task for Chris, and maybe this will go into your explanation here, but tell me about the trailer first, what you thought about this. Obviously tickets are on sale now, very early. I was very surprised. We have a 5 p.m. showing here. I can't believe how early that is here. I guess you're in Alberta when this is happening, but in Kelowna
I'm not in Alberta.
Where aren't you there for your wedding? Where are you going?
No, I'm going down to the coast.
Whatever, you're not here. You're not here.
No, but I mean I won't be seeing it the night of the Thursday. I'll be seeing it the next day at noon. So
man, that must kill you though, right?
It does kill me,
Tuesday.
but
Why can't you see it Thursday?
Because Madison has family that we are to engage.
Bring
with,
him to the
so
movie. You know,
that was my initial pitch, but it didn't work. So, next best thing is at noon in the IMAX theater, so I'll take it. But yeah, I didn't watch the trailer right away when it dropped because I thought, okay, well, I had a significant reaction when the first trailer released, so I'm gonna record my second reaction to this trailer. And so I came home, I put it on, and I actually have the recording of it, and it's mostly silent with a couple like whoas and like some jump moments, but I think I might upload it at some point because it is kind of fun. But
we should probably, you know what we should do, because you could do it to YouTube, but soon you can tune into Marvel Alliance. Up here in the end credit, they talked about it. Brent, the bastard, he has a Vine account. Yeah, no, a Vine account. Jeez, I'm old and dated. He has a TikTok account. He posts this video to you. You should go back in the GA chat. It's just a video of him. It's a picture of this Thor bucket, this popcorn bucket they're getting. And he's like, I've never bought a popcorn bucket, but I think I'm going to buy this one. That's the video. That's it. It's like 15 seconds. He has 56,000 views on this fucking video. And then he's like, yeah, I put no thought into it. I'm like, well, that's GeekVerse in general. We put no thought into any of this. So I feel like soon, look out this summer, we're going to probably have a GeekVerse TikTok here. Because we've flirted with a little bit. But you know what? That's what in the future, that stuff would be good for. But I couldn't believe the stupid popcorn bucket. 56,000. Get out of here.
I actually have like a very bold TikTok idea that I want to do. I want to start it up with Madison actually. And it's in regards to movie theaters, and I won't tell you the idea on air because I don't want someone to copycat it. But
is this for your personal one, or is this
it'd be like a personal
one?
But if we did a GeekVerse one, I would 120% do it for the GeekVerse one.
I think we could, because I think we could do a mix of trailer reactions, some clip outs from news and stuff, but then also personal tidbits that we could just all have the login and just be buck wild on there. But
yeah.
So obviously you like the trailer, I imagine, yes?
I did. I quite enjoyed it. The change up from the first trailer that I really enjoyed was just the level of practical effects. It was so nice to see actual animatronics and not CGI Haven. It was just so nice to just go back to its roots. So I'm on board for that. Seeing little baby Blue and just the dynamic that's unfolding there with being swept away by these, backwoods people in a shitty little truck, and just super, super sad. I'm hoping that properly gets resolved because I'm in love with that little baby velociraptor. That's just absolutely amazing. But I was jumping because there was one scene where in my reaction video I'm completely caught off guard because I don't know what's going to happen, but the Carnotaurus was like walking in the courtyard and the guy was on this fucking scooter. Like a fucking moron. And I was so wrapped in my reaction. And all of a sudden, the goddamn, not Baryonyx, the Allosaurus just comes and just chomps him. And it made me
When
scream.
I'm talking, you should pull up the trailer and we'll get that freeze frame because I laughed. I could like this reminded. So it's tough because I laughed. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm going into this perspective of this movie. I'm just gonna have a good time, like a bucket popcorn. I'll get a bucket of popcorn and just enjoy it. I'm gonna just try to turn my brain off. I know some people don't like that. But it reminds me of the first one when the babysitter who did nothing wrong was a complete innocent person. We had this like 30-second montage of her just being destroyed by these dinosaurs, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. I shouldn't be enjoying this. They shouldn't be doing this. But man, this is brutal and this is kind of funny. And yeah, when he just, I thought they were gonna run past him, but when he just got his head chomped and just brought up, man, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, rest in peace to that guy. You know,
it's just because he's just on the frickin' scooter. My God.
Oh yeah, here we go. Tiz pulling up for the video people. But yeah, so you'll find it there. Is this where it's coming up? I feel like it's a little later on in the trailer, isn't it? Yeah, it's coming up. It's when it's that part where Chris Pratt is on the bike and they're going through some sort of city or town or something like that. Animals are going galore up here and everything like that. Why are you putting the speed on?
I'm putting the speed lower so we can like land it.
I thought you were putting his feet up. I'm like, you can scrub as much as you want. So yeah, raptors are chasing after him. He's riding the bike.
This got me. Oh God, just clothesline that raptor.
Yeah, big clothesline raptor with his bow. And then so there's this guy who's just chilling on a. It's coming up here. He's just chilling. What is happening? What is happening?
Like he's got the right. He's running for his life. All these people are running.
No.
This guy.
He does. Okay, first of all, though, why is that a? I don't know. To me, no. Like he looks like he's scootered right into the dinosaurs. He's not going to any.
But he sees it. He sees it there. You turn around. He doesn't have any idea this thing's behind him. He sees it there, and then he's accelerating, and he's just.
But how'd he get that far? He should have turned around. I'm gonna have to see it in the full context of the movie, and that's why I'm going to turn my brain off. I'm just gonna try and enjoy it and have a good time. But when I saw that, I did laugh, and oh, poor buddy here just gets it.
These two are here, and I don't see him there yet.
No, so this is why I'm waiting if it happens right away and this scene's mixed differently, or is Chris Pratt just in the middle of these battle the dinosaurs and the guy's like, you know what? I bet I can scooter past this dinosaur. It took him like 2 seconds to react. Yeah,
this guy. He just doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would even be on a scooter in the first place.
No, and my problem is too, like the dinosaur's that close and he doesn't even feel like he feels any dinosaur hears him. Like, look, there's all this commotion and he just seems like he's like gunning forward. I don't know. I can't. This is my most anticipated thing about this movie is to find out about Scooter Guy now because I want to know his whole story and everything like that. And like it's like he didn't know there was a dinosaur there until the dinosaur growled at him. Look, because look at this.
He looks genuinely like pissed. Like right here, he just does this like frown. Like what the hell is that? Like
why is everyone running?
Yeah.
Brad just keeps going on. Oh boy, yeah. I can't wait for that part. But yeah, so this is something where it's interesting because we've talked about this before. Like you quite enjoy the second one. I really did not enjoy the second one. What I have to bring up here is this is a fourth wall breaking. SBub says the GeekVerse shorts videos sometimes recommend or sometimes our channel gets recommended to him. You have to explain to me what is, because I know what shorts are, but usually I thought those were people, they would choose what to clip out and that becomes a short. I didn't know someone was like doing it. I didn't know YouTube was doing it automatically, so we have to look more into it. I've thought about it. Again, even with TikTok we've thought about it. It's just time. It's just we always got so much stuff on the go already. So Chris had asked me off air of Marvel, he wanted you to convince him of why to see this movie. He was somebody that he did not enjoy the second one like me and kind of thought that he was done after that. And I know the obvious answer is probably like, well, you got the original cast coming back. But what is your pitch for those people that maybe, yeah, because I feel like the second one of Jurassic World was definitely divisive. And I think there's definitely people like myself that got a little turned off by it. There's multiple people that are going, I don't know. What is your pitch to those people that were maybe wavering after the next one? Or the last one, sorry.
Most people love Planet of the Apes. And who doesn't love
What?
that concept with dinosaurs?
First of all, you stole that pitch from me because I always said I
But
want
it
to plan
works.
names with
It
dinosaurs.
works though, and that's what we're getting. And yeah, you already said this too. Original cast here. I mean, look at this. You see this man? That is the one and only Sam Neill, and he's
Man.
reprising his role as Alan Grant.
Odin
I mean,
himself.
That's perfect. Yeah, Odin himself. There's just so much. Like, we're getting so many movies these days have an excessive amount of CGI, and this is, I think, one of these films that really stands true to putting out these amazing special effects stacked with great practical effects that don't rely solely on CGI. We're going to some amazing locations. Again, they know how to tackle and offer some very entertaining moments. And yeah, Fallen Kingdom was definitely, in retrospect, a rocky journey, but it's a journey that put us into the scenario we want to be in now. We've already seen dinosaurs on the mainland once back in Lost World Jurassic Park. And that's one of those highlights of that movie, is just seeing the utter chaos. And I think we're going to be getting, obviously, so much more of that in this. And I feel like there's a lot of care put into this. This has been a movie that has been delayed and has had so much attentive detail put into this and so much build-up. So I think there's a lot of potential with what we're going to get in terms of the story. So, again, this shot, I was melting at this shot. It's just adorable.
So yeah, you can keep it paused here because I'll give my thoughts, and then we got a question from Maddie, and I think this will also kind of go into some of what Chris was asking, because I'm somebody too that I'll fully admit, yeah, there's two sides of me, right? Most of these movies I'm gonna see for the podcast because it's a passion of ours. I'd be seeing these movies anyways for fun. Like, I would be doing it anyways, but technically it is my job. I own a business. So even some movies where like I never need to see that. Same thing as like El Muerto. I'm so fucking annoyed. I said it like 6 times a day, like practicing, and I got it. And I feel like I had it before, but El Muerto, boom,
Yep.
I think I got it there. That's one where it's like same thing. I don't know if I need to see that, but because it's, to this brand, it is content. We are content creators. Of course I will. So same thing. There's that side. So take that out. I would obviously be seeing this because those OG3 are coming back, because you can't, like, those 3, especially, we never got them again. We got them like spread apart, but we never got them back together again. So this is exactly, it's a funny world, because as of right now, I'm watching the Star Wars movies. I'm all the way up to Empire, so that's where I am. And obviously, that's still a debate that's going to rail for probably the rest of our lives, is should they have done those OG3 back together, right? And that's what they're doing here as far as, we're not going to risk it. We're not going to do anything. We're going to put them back together for this big movie. They lately, even at CinemaCon, they're very careful with their words where they said, like, this is the end of the Jurassic chapter, but or they said like this chapter, but it's like, yeah, there's probably another book coming, hopefully not the Book of Boba Fett's level as far as Jurassic World. I don't need a Book of Jurassic World, but I think for the mainstream, I think this is where, last 2 films made billions of dollars, and that's where it comes in with, if you really, really didn't like it, then someone like myself, I do understand. But for me, even as somebody that I thought it was very, very, like I said, very hyperbolic, I thought it was like one of the worst blockbusters ever. There's no way I will not see, and maybe some people will choose to see at home, but there's no way you're going to have a film for me that has Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern all back together playing these characters that I'm going to skip out. Now, I did always, and like Taylor said, my pitch was what I wanted was, okay, we've done enough of the park. What more can we do? I think what was the second? Fallen Kingdom kind of showed the growing pains of being in the middle of like the park aspect and the getting in the real world. We have what I want, like, okay, Plan the Apes, but with dinosaurs. Dinosaurs run wild again. What's going to happen? I think and this is where I'll bring Maddie's question, where something I was a little confused on about the trailer and what we are doing here. So he goes, this is Maddie Sags, one of our favorite patrons, all of our favorite patrons, but one of our favorite people out there. Oddly enough, while the first Jurassic World trailer increased my hype level for the film, the new trailer was the opposite. The fact that the plot seems to be centered around them trying to rescue this baby raptor just isn't very interesting to me. Why should I care about dinosaurs that are scattered among, why should I care about that when dinosaurs are scattered among the earth living among us? I feel like with that in mind, plus OG characters returning, they could have taken the story in more interesting directions. And that's one thing where I am a little hung up on it as far as I saw this trailer. I was like, okay. And then he got me with this question, and then I kind of watched this trailer back again. And I was wondering like if this is the main plot. Now, I will say one thing that got me excited because I was watching this, and there's the scooter guy, and when Chris Pratt does go like, "Oh, I'm gonna save your," because Blue, well, we buried the lead. Blue has a child, whatever, baby velociraptor with her, so she's a mother now, and that mother gets kidnapped, and Chris Pratt, we're gonna find her, we're gonna find your baby, and then Blue like snaps at him, and that's all cool, right? But it still was a little cheesy for me. Of like, okay, right, this is what we do in Jurassic World, where he can talk to this dinosaur, and this is the plot where he's gonna go save this baby raptor and everything like that. Now, what I did like and what gives me hope for this movie is this scene that Taylor has paused, where it's Chris Pratt, he has the raptor on his back and he's gonna go, and he's like, "Oh, I promised to get you back to your mother." And Jeff Goldblum's like, "You made a promise to a dinosaur?" And he's like, "Yeah." I liked that because one, it just felt like my generation of just like being like, again, I don't think it's that because Colin Trevorrow, he directed the first one and he wrote this one. I feel like it's him just being like, yeah, this is fucking stupid. Like, why are we doing this? Like, you're like, there's so much more going on. You're dealing with a raptor. So I'm hoping that this is say Chris Pratt's
Good
plot.
Lord.
Say Chris Pratt's plot 3 times. It's very hard, but I'm hoping it's Pratt's plot. And I said, don't laugh. I said it flawlessly. Don't laugh then. I'm hoping this is his story and it interlinks with a grander story happening that has our main characters. Because to me, if it is, and I'm going to try and enjoy this movie, but if it is for some reason, Jeff Goldblum and Sally Adler and Dr. Grant get involved in this adventure to help Chris Pratt just to save this baby raptor, 0 sense, very dumb, and that would to me not be an interesting plot. And if that's the route we're going, if it's a side quest where they're helping, sure. But so I really appreciate the joke because, like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of the older generation, not necessarily a boomer, but just like that clear divide. The same way, like, to me, Han Solo and Finn had such a good dynamic in Force Awakens. Of like, oh, we'll use the Force, and here, that's not how the Force works. Like, if you could nail that dynamic, that's great. So I'm looking for that kind of old school, new school. You got the OG cast. I think the environment, because again, to sell Chris, where I think that you're having. These movies are a big spectacle. I think it's going to be mostly great effects and looking good. So you're going to have these dinosaurs and these unique places in our world landmarks. I think there's tons of fun things to do. But I do agree with Maddie that this trailer, for the plot-wise, and this was the focus, got me a little less. Because the trailer before made me feel like this is a world huge issue. And it is, but this is a whole issue. We're getting all these people together to find out what we do next. Whether it's working dinosaurs, kill them. And the fact that this trailer is leading with, oh, I'm going to get your baby back. I was a little like, I don't know about this. I'm fine with it being a plot, but I don't know if it's the main plot. So, Taylor, I want your opinion after this first ad break. And we're back. So, yeah, what do you take as far as babies blues? Little baby here.
I just want to point out, because if the listeners are listening, I swear you said Sally Adler, and her name is Ellie
Sattler.
Yeah.
I screwed it. Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Right when you said that, like, oh, it's Ellie Sattler, is it? Sattler Ellie.
No,
I should know it too. It's the name after I didn't name my daughter after Ellie Sattler.
You're a big Ellie Sattler fan.
No.
No, this it's a fair point, Maddie. It really, really is. Like, just the general plot being, okay, them just going out and finding this baby Blue. I can see how that's maybe a little bit underwhelming for a story, but I think that there's a lot more stacked on that. How I interpreted this trailer was, okay, the initial plot is, yes, this baby Blue gets abducted. This clearly looks like the end scene here where they finally track baby Blue down.
Yeah, this is third act right here.
Yeah, third act. But I think all of these other things kind of stack up to play here. Yes, we do have some dinosaurs in the wild. You can tune into that short that they did not too long ago. And I think, again, this is going to be humanity dealing with dinosaurs in the wild that we're going to be seeing unfold here in this movie, in contrast to the main plot of Chris Pratt going out and finding Baby Blue. I think that journey of him finding Baby Blue is going to bring him to these other prominent dinosaur experts that we are familiar with that are going to have insight into how to track this baby raptor down. But again, the larger scale of this mission that he's on, this quest, is going to involve, like, why is he going to what I am assuming is Isla Sorna? Why is he going to this snowy ice plain? Is this just another aspect of the story where he's trying to track down where Baby Blue is? Like, what is the goal here? I feel like these different locations he's going to are going to result in more dinosaurs escaping, more conflict between the population, these rich organizations not being able to control their dinosaurs that they've bought from Fallen Kingdom, and it's just going to lead to more and more dinosaurs spreading. We obviously saw those new raptors, and that's going to involve, I imagine, the genetics that other rich people have bought. And they don't just have the living dinos that they bought at the auction. They bought some of the embryos too that they can now create and bring up into their own dinosaurs. So I think you're going to have the world literally falling apart to dinosaurs taking over around Chris Pratt, while Chris Pratt's goal, even regardless of the world kind of falling apart, is him going to just rescue this baby raptor. And personally, for me, that's I'm a sucker for that kind of thing for this, and I'm gonna enjoy it. But I want to see the world fall apart around him as he's on this adventure. I want to see the dinosaurs breaking out like they were in the trailer. I want to see everything go crazy. But again, this plot of them saving Baby Blue, I think, will come a little bit later. I don't think it's going to start right away like that. I think we're going to see Chris Pratt just being a dino wrangler and then just trying to like capture dinosaurs in the wild and just kind of keep them kind of, tone them down a little bit, try to keep them into like separate territories, just try to kind of like help coast them into being in this new age, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I think what I worry when you describe that, as far as this is all going on and the world's falling apart, that's where I go, I don't know if I'm going to believe that storyline, because it feels much like a video game where we've talked about this before with Fallout, but like Fallout 4, there's like the main plot is you got to go find your son, right? So you're on this mission, but then you might go on a side quest and this person's like, could you find my balloon for me? And then you're not looking at an hour for this balloon when it's like, you should really probably be looking for your son. And that's my worry, is like if the world's truly falling apart, I get it. Like Chris Pratt, they've established this connection with Blue and they're close and everything like that. But at the same point, there's no point of finding Blue's baby or Baby Blue if the whole world's going to go to shit, like either way, right? So that's where I think they got to walk a fine line. But again, I'm going to do my best just to enjoy this, have fun with it. But I think I do expect this to be better than Fallen Kingdom, but I don't think it's going to be better than the first Jurassic World. I would like it to be, but I think you just gotta, this is going to be a pure nostalgia movie, and seeing that I think seeing the new cast interact with the old cast and the old cast back together, that's what I'm here for. The story and the plot, I'm not here for that, and I don't know if it's going to be that strong, because like I said, if the main plot is we're trying to get Baby Blue back, I don't know, that it seems a little iffy, but we'll see. Can you go back? Did you want to shout something out about the shot here?
I do. This is just like a great callback to
Yes.
Ian Malcolm just failing with the T-Rex initially with his little torch back on the original Jurassic Park. This just made me think of him. I have to say, like, the guy, it's called a Giganotosaurus. This thing looks absolutely just evil. But again, this isn't CGI. This is practical effects, and I'm so happy to see this. It just makes me so excited, because I'm pretty sure the Indominus Rex was literally all CGI with no practicality at all in that first one. They changed their ways, and they made the Indoraptor some practical stuff, which is fantastic. But this, I'm sure there's CGI in some moments, but just to get a dose of this, oh.
And here's again, I try not to rain the parade, but this is where I just rolled my eyes when the director like compared this dinosaur to like the Joker. He's like, yeah, he likes chaos, he's into trouble. It's just like, they're fucking dinosaurs, bro. Like, I don't think this dinosaur is like, yeah, it's not about money, it's about sending a message. Like, I don't know. The Jokersaurus, that is. And technically, Taylor, I can correct you. He did not use a torch in the first movie. It was
I said a flare. That's what I said.
No, you didn't. You said a torch.
No, I said a flare. I was using a torch here. Go listen to the playback. S-Bubs. I said flare, didn't I?
He's gonna look back, and I don't think so. But that's a cool shot here. Is the old T-Rex? He's gonna be on our side again, right? You think so?
Oh, the T-Rex, the queen of Isla Nublar, is always on our side.
I think she's going down this movie, though. She can't survive past 6. It's time. It's time. I think I have that question about who will die. But now, can you go back all the way to the beginning? Because one of my favorite shots, and I laugh. Can you find me the shot of BD Wong? Because talk about the scooter. I laughed so hard. Yeah, I laughed so hard when they just cut to BD Wong, who in both Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom just played the most over the top, like science fiction sci-fi B-rate villain of just like, oh, he's always cloning people and stuff, and they just cut to like, we made a terrible mistake. It's like, first of all, you were around for the first 3 movies, and then for movie 4 and 5, you were just like this super mustache twirly like kind of villain, just always. He was more the Joker. He was just doing fucking anarchy stuff. He's like, I'm gonna take this DNA with me. I'm gonna take these eggs. Like, I'm gonna do all this shit. And I just laugh. Where he's like, yeah, we really screwed up here. So,
like, there's a little more context to his character that you can pick up from Camp Cretaceous. And again, I don't expect everyone to go and watch that, but they do highlight. He is, yeah. Like they
is
actually
he voiced by B.D. Wong?
I don't remember, but they highlight a little bit more of his development. Mm-hmm. The way I take it with Jurassic Park, yes, he's just a basic character in that, and he's just the scientist behind Hammond who's creating these things. Then you have Jurassic World, where he's given much more free reign, and he's put the science and what he's created above anything else. And he's very much like, don't contaminate my creations. These are unique creatures that I have designed with my mind, my intelligent brain, whatever you want to call it. And then the second one, it was much more like he started to realize he's being used. He realized like he was trying to create these things and create bigger, better, and all these interesting things. But he realized at the same time that he didn't want to compromise that by having speed and have necessarily like his flaw was allowing people with money to call the shots, and he just always he wanted the funding, and he didn't care where he was getting this funding from these shady organizations. It just meant that he could continue doing his research, and that again is what's so important to him, is that research. And now you have this version of him where he's seen how this greedy rich have basically just auctioned off all these dinosaurs. He's seen how his creation that wasn't ready, the Indoraptor, was just willy-nilly just let loose and was just going to be sold off for money. He's just a man that has had all of his work literally stolen from him by competitors, by the rich, by the greedy, and now he realizes, and almost like they're making him the John Hammond in the Lost World Jurassic Park, where he's kind of thinking things are different. Like, he's not full on like public opinion was the only thing that I need a complete photo record of those animals alive, natural habitat, not anything like that. But he's turned that new leaf where he realizes his work is out of control. He should have not let this out of the box as much as he did.
A little too late. They're all around the world. I don't know.
It's just, it goes hand in hand, I think, with that first line that we got in Jurassic Park where Ian Malcolm said, your scientists were too preoccupied with whether or not they could. They didn't stop to think whether or not they should. And this is now the fallout of Dr. Wu coming to terms with that line, is how I take it.
Is it the first line Jeff Goldblum says in Jurassic Park? That
no, that was where the line was first spoken.
Okay,
it wasn't his first line. I'm pretty sure his first line.
He's probably flirting with Ellie or something.
It was like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get some Jeff Goldblum clips here for the newscast coming up. But so he did not voice him in Camp Cretaceous, but he did voice him in the Lego Jurassic World, the Dominus Escape, that TV show. So there you go. But see that little backstory, I hope in that scene where he's saying, "Oh, I'm wrong." From my perspective, who've not seen an A Camp Cretaceous, to me, he had none of that backstory in the movies. We weren't informed any of that, right? So even if he could give some exposition to explain those other movies, make it better, I would love that. I don't think that'll happen. I think he's just going to play like, oh, I really screwed up. But what you told me was good. It's just I want them to have that in the actual film so I can have some substance to that conversation, actually feel a little bad for him in that moment. But we'll see. I don't know if that's going to happen. So, Taylor, is there anything specifically you want to show before I get to my last question here?
This Pyroraptor, this scene made me absolutely quiver because like when it I should just play it. It like did its like plummet thing and it went underneath the ice. Completely wasn't expecting that at all.
Is that a real, like based off a real dinosaur?
I believe all these dinosaurs are based on real dinosaurs.
Okay. No hybrids, right?
There's no hybrids in this movie.
No hybrids. Okay, because I'm not a dino expert like you and how you share on Twitter, so I don't know like what they're doing, whatnot, or things and everything. And I know that sentence I just said didn't make any sense, but I was just watching the trailer here of him underwater and
the good roar, the practical effects. I love it. Oh my goodness. So let's get a good look here. We got Henry Wu, I'm assuming, here holding Baby Blue. So he's now joined the group.
Oh, good,
Um,
good. He calls all this, but it is so funny though, like how much I hate to say, but how much the new series characters did not stick other than Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard because you only got two for like that first Jurassic World movie, and then even this one you got all four of them. Like I didn't like the young kid from Fallen Kingdom, but he's not back. Wasn't there I guess that little girl, right? She's the same little girl I think from the second
Maisie,
one,
that's
the clone,
Maisie.
right?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
back.
So yeah, fair enough. We have this newer guy in the middle. So yeah, fair enough. You got those two. But yeah, this is your Avengers moment right here. You know,
This is my Avengers. Okay, he's not carrying Baby Blue. He's just carrying. I'm imagining his
Money.
Baby Blue's right. He's carrying money. That's all he's carrying.
he's like, oh god, what's the character's name in the mummy? Benny. He's just looking to get
Benny,
as much
yeah.
money as he can before it's all over. See you later, Benny. But yeah, and there's the final shot of the final three there, and so this is what I was gonna ask here because this is the big tease, and can you go back to that moment there? Like I felt like fucking right here, deja vu, when she yells out "run." There's something like that exactly in the first Jurassic World trailer. She says "run" the movie, but like they've used the exact same moment of Bryce Dallas being "run," and it's just I was like, what am I wrong here? You know? Oh, S-Bubs did say he went back on the footage to see if Taylor said flare or torch. Well, S-Bubs, when you got that answer, lay it on us because we're ready. But
you just don't end us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I know you didn't answer.
Jesus.
But when she said run, I had outer body experience there. I was like, I've seen this before. Deja vu.
It looks like Ellie Sattler might get like eaten here. Hopefully not though.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you. So we might talk about it again closer, but this is I don't.
Oh, come on, S-Bubs. What are you doing?
What? I posted a video on the Discord. He said torch. Oh yeah, I was right. I knew it. Yeah, I told you because
I think you misheard what I was saying.
No, because you're like, oh, just like the first one, you said torch. Correct. What is going on? He posted in the Discord, which always join the GV Discord. It's in the links down below. Okay, it's there. Perfect. I'll drop the WandaVision O-Face GIF, the Travis GIF, and the laughing GIF. All three. And actually, where's that fourth WandaVision one? Right there. You got to join the Discord, everyone. It's popping off. Boom, right there. So this is what I'll ask you. Obviously, there's two things going off. Here's one thing. Do you think I feel like this is our last trailer, right? Like full trailer. I think we'll get TV spots, teasers, but I think this last trailer.
I think this is definitely our last, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's a scary shot, that dinosaur eye. But yeah, it makes sense. Tickets are on sale. So this might be the last time we talk about it before it's out because we got so much stuff popping off next little bit. So if nothing else comes out, this might be the last time we touch upon it. So I will ask you, Taylor, we talked about this a little bit. I want your official prediction on who do you think can die? And or not can die. Who do you think will die? And you can say no one. And I'm talking just the main characters here because that's why I want to ask this because the very end of this trailer is pretty much just like teasing it's Owen and Ellie like hanging and it's like that's the big I think draw is like, oh, one of these characters could die. I personally think if they are dying it's not that shot, but what do you say is going to happen here or could happen?
Like it's tough because they genuinely could kill the whole original three. They're killing guys on scooters left, right, and center, so I mean no one's safe really, but like I could see the original cast getting killed, and that I feel like that would anger people at the same time because you get all these characters back. But I mean, if it's a send off, it has to be a good send off. It has to be like they have to die saving these people. But I don't know if Jurassic Park is necessarily in that line of doing that. Like, there's a reason before we had any of these movies that Alan Grant survived Jurassic Park 3. There's a reason Ian Malcolm survived Jurassic Park 2, for that matter. Like they kept them alive because I think that's just the kind of thing they want to do with these characters. And I think that'll hold true in this, unless they really want to make a statement and really rattle some cages by killing these main characters. I think for the most part, all three of them are safe. And if anyone were to go, I honestly think it could be like a Chris Pratt or a Bryce Dallas Howard because I just feel like you would keep those OG ones just there. But again, that's me being biased and kind of hopeful that, I don't want my old OGs to be touched and harmed, right?
You go the Force Awakens route where you kill off the OG people and you keep the new people around because they can make more movies, and Chris Pratt's unfortunately, I guess, a bigger star than the other three OGs. They're big in this movie, but Chris Pratt's, that's where the money is. So, I think you're right. I think they're all going to make it out. But my question is, what state is the world at the end of this movie? Because I think because my whole thing is like it's the same way I talked about with Scream, right? And when every time we get a new Scream, I'm always worried they're going to kill Sidney Prescott, and spoilers for last Scream. I just think there's certain characters and heroes that I don't want to see die because they've been through so much shit that it's just like it almost would tarnish the story a little bit if it's like, oh yeah, they survived this all, but then they died, and it's like, oh, okay. Where there's a character in that movie, Taylor, you know what I'm talking about, who got a death where it felt like justified because the way their life was and they had already kind of lived a fuller life. If they're going to get Jurassic Park 7, right? And if the world is even worse than what is in Dominion, then I'm kind of fine with some of the OG characters dying because they wouldn't have this happy life. Like, there's no like, oh, the happy ending is they helped save the world and they went back. No, if it's going to get worse, if it's going to get like Dino Geddon, maybe it's good for Samuel to go now before like his grandkids and everybody start getting ripped apart by dinosaurs and everything, or his nieces and nephews, so he doesn't have to see that. So I think, honestly, if anyone goes, unfortunately for you, it's Sam Neill, because I just think
it'll be like my dad dying.
That's the one that hurts the most, and I just feel, yeah, I don't know, because they establish Elliot's kids in this. You might meet some of them. I don't know. I just feel like you just don't kill Jeff Goldblum. There's just something about him where I just feel like, because I love Sam Neill and I love Laura Dern, but I feel like Jeff Goldblum just has. He's like Christopher Walken. He has that je ne sais quoi that no one else has, right? He's so unique. You can't bottle that up and use that with anybody else. So if you ask me, I think they will all survive, but and maybe they survive because they want to do more of these movies and they want to bring them back again, and maybe that's where it's more of a risk. But we've seen that with countless times of tragedies now, tragedies. I was trying to say tragedies in franchises where they sacrifice those OG characters to propel the new ones forward, right? And I don't think they need to do that here because they already got Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, like $2 billion movies, and they're stars, so you don't really need to propel them, but there's still that like knee-jerk reaction to make people really feel like, okay, this is not just a cash-in sequel, like these are the stakes, this is a big one. So we'll see. Here's one I think for sure is dying is fucking BD Wong. BD Wong is gone.
There's probably a high chance. That
he needs to go.
I like you make a good point that Ian Malcolm could most likely survive out of the batch. If Sam Neill were to go, I don't want to see him get eaten by a dinosaur. I don't want to see him on the scooter and just get fucking ripped up or anything like that. Because I just feel like seeing him and then seeing him get eaten, no matter what the context, it would rub me the wrong way. I would want to see him go out by like making a sacrifice in an explosion or something to like save
I think it would
crew.
be off screen, yeah. I don't think any of the main characters, because I thought the same thing of also why I didn't think Jeff Goldblum, because I just don't know. I just can't see them filming a scene where Jeff Goldblum's going to eat by dinosaurs. And it's on screen. It's not like it's not funny, but just like seeing how he would react, because he can be a serious actor. He just hasn't done it in a while, I feel. So I just feel like there is something where Sam Neill could be eaten by a dinosaur, but I don't think you'd see it the other way. I don't think he would be like Scooter Guy. Oh, excuse me. He wouldn't be like Scooter Guy. I think they'd give him some sort of hero's death or sacrifice or something like that. So
yeah.
You're right there. You look like you lost something.
I found a bug on the wall and I lost it, and then I found it and I killed him.
Wow, you're terrible. I don't do that. I let it back outside.
It's an invasive species. They're not indigenous to Kelowna, I guess. So
put it back outside. Let him live his life. You just took a bug life.
I love that movie.
Yeah, you're scooting past the point. I never kill bugs.
I've seen you kill some.
What? No. Okay, that's true. All for cast purposes. There was a fly one time in Dylan's room that I could kill.
You put all your force of your strength into that.
That was in 2016, and I have changed my ways. I have a changed man. I've found God. But no, now I literally try not to kill bugs. But you know what? That's another time. It's like Pa's death in Man of Steel, but it's dinosaurs eating him.
No.
Don't save me.
Looks at Chris Pratt and does that. Yeah.
Yeah. Save my dog, Sam Neill. Save my baby Blue. But yeah. Anything else you have to say on Jurassic World Dominion?
No, you can get your tickets now. So make sure you do that.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think this is going to do gangbusters. I've always said this. Those both movies are billion-dollar films, so you have that. But just with the OG cast, sure. I just had some super fries the other night. Good ad. But yeah, I think that movie is going to do really, really well. So we'll see. We'll be here to track all that stuff. Let's get into some last bits of CinemaCon. So there wasn't really much else this week as far as they're showing stuff like Top Gun Maverick and they're showing like John Wick, just like some stuff from it. But Disney didn't really give anything. I thought we might even get like a MCU type of date. I wasn't. CinemaCon is for the theater owners, right? It's not for us fans to go, oh my god. But I thought we were gonna get something a little bit more, just a date, a new announcement, and we really didn't. So that's fine, whatever. But the big thing that they were hitting was obviously Avatar. We'll talk about some little Marvel news in a second, but Avatar, that is seeming like it's coming out December. That's the date right now, and they've passed out those 3D glasses, and oh my god, I'm sorry, they're passing those 3D glasses and. I'm sorry, Jim Cameron, but come December, I'm going to be giving you the big old middle finger because I'm not sitting through a fucking 3D movie, even for Avatar. I will find a 2D screening. Now, I will worry if they're like, no, it's just 3D screenings, nothing else. Then I'm going to shit an egg. But no, so 3D, it's back. They announced, and we're going to go through all of these, but they announced the titles of all the movies, and I'd seen the first one. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess that's the title of them. And then I'd seen the other three, and for some reason I thought they were parody names, but they're actually not parody names. They're the real names, and I was like, oh, okay. Especially one of these names I think is just kind of lame, but okay. So here we go. So Avatar 2, The Way of the Water, coming out this December. Avatar 3, The Seed Bearer. That's the one where I think porn sites are going to have loads of fun with that. The Seed Bearer, are you kidding me? That's coming out 2024. Avatar 4, The Tulkun Raider. All right. Rider, thank you. The Tulkun Rider. Another porn one that they're just going to have a great time with. And then and Avatar fucking 5, coming out 2028, The Quest of Iwa. Is that Iwa? Yeah. Man, just looking at the slate just crushes me because I just hate that like this is what James Cameron's been doing his whole like past decade. It's just like working on these films. But alas, I digress. But here's one thing I want to get your opinion on first is what do you think of they announced that these sequels are going to be standalones, more standalones? Because the thing is like Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, like they're in these movies still, but I guess they're not sequels in the sense of, like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. So it feels like what he's kind of saying is you could go watch Avatar 2 without having to see Avatar 1. Now, we'll have to see when we see 2 if like, okay, is he saying standalone just in the sense that, oh yeah, you can see them, but like really you should be watching sequels, or do they stand by themselves? But what do you feel about Avatar sequels being standalone?
I'm okay with that. I think it's interesting, and it makes me wonder what the story will be focusing on if that's the case. And if they're standalones, like I think that is better because that means they have more of a cohesive story in themselves from a point A to point B. And again, there's nothing wrong with telling a story over multiple films. Some of the greatest films are done by doing that, but I'm just curious what the story will be focusing on specifically. I read somewhere that again, we'll talk more about the technology and the water one, but the focus of water and the oceans of Pandora was just the general plot for the first or the second one and the third one as a setup, and then it'll be referenced and inputted into the later ones, I guess. So I think there's going to be, again, the standalone aspect to each of these films, and I don't know the storyline or the plot, but I do think it's going to take a notion of what was created in the second film and just kind of use that. I think the first one stands on its own, and if you want to know about Jake Sully and the Jarhead clan, then you can watch that first one if you want to. But yeah.
Well, especially it's kind of weird. They're still, I guess you got to go with the title, but Avatar. But it's like he's not an Avatar anymore. It's just the name. It's just what he's doing. I'm interested. I'm on Avatar in general. I'm very interested in what's gonna happen and I'll ask you this, Taylor. Do you think that this movie will match like the Endgame Avatar? Because what happened was like obviously Avatar came out, Endgame came out, beat it. Avatar took it back when they re-released it. The re-releasing in September still makes more shekels, but I think like always throughout our lives, it's gonna probably bounce back and forth between Endgame and Avatar because at some point MCU will re-release Endgame and stuff like that. Do you think this is going to get to those heights? Obviously, we haven't seen a trailer, which they have said that the first trailer is going to be with Doctor Strange. It's going to be exclusive to theaters for a week, and then it's going to go in public. So we will, the night of Doctor Strange, we will record a cutout of our review of the trailer, and that'll be there with the movie review. So look out for that. But do you think? Again, it's very early on, but that's what I'm asking you, just your gut feeling. Do you think it can get to those massive numbers again? Do you think it's just going to be a hit, or do you think it could, I don't think bomb, but like where's your feeling on the Avatar success rate right now with, still it's just spring and we're quite a few months away, but
I'm always down to go back to Pandora, and I think most of the public is too. So when you get a movie like this, I think the sequel has a incredibly high chance of doing record numbers. I think the later ones probably not so much. I think this initial one has so much anticipation behind it, and people are memeing and making jokes and everything like that, and people say the first one's dog shit and stuff, but say what you want about the story or whatever, like I genuinely probably watch it about 2 to 3 times a year, like that first one. I enjoy the story.
You watch it 2 to 3 times a year?
Oh yeah. I
every
really,
year.
Yeah, I really enjoy I enjoy the message, like the movie. It has I love the action sequences. I love the aesthetic. I love so much about that movie. It just is a really interesting concept. I get so much out of it that satisfies different parts of cinematic pleasure that I like to satisfy my mind with. And so
I too like to live dangerously.
Yeah, when you're dealing with something with such anticipation after a near decade of waiting, with technology that has exceeded
near decade,
so many.
It's past a decade.
Is it past a decade?
Came out in 2009.
2009. Holy shit.
We're over a decade.
So we're over a decade.
12 years, right?
I think
years.
that's definitely 13. I think people are definitely waiting.
I corrected
to see,
myself. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
There, right?
People are definitely excited to see what we're going to get here. And I was reading a little bit about some of the cast members they have working with them. And some of these underwater shots, I'm so excited to see what they can do. Some of the kids that they have that are acting on this set, they can hold their breath for up to like 4 minutes underwater, which is just crazy. How long can you hold your breath for underwater?
I don't know, but like you got fucking the best effects artists in the world and stuff like that. I don't know why these kids are having to hold their breath.
That's the trick though. It's one thing to just use CGI and visual effects or whatever you want, but if you're recording something and adding so much more of a different dynamic where it's real movement, like the human eye can definitely tell when something isn't like real and it's fake and all that kind of stuff. And I appreciate when things are done much more realistically, practically. And again, I'm not saying there's no visual effects. They're obviously incorporating some somehow, and that's where it'll be interesting to see such a cool combination. This is where Jurassic World comes back into play, of practical and visual coming together. And whatever it was that this method of filming that James Cameron was waiting for this movie, he found it and he's employed it into this film, and I'm excited to see it. And I'm totally going to be doing this in 3D. Count me in. It's going to be grand. It's going to be great. And yeah.
Well, there's a few interesting things there. One, I hope it all looks good. I just don't want it to look like the first time in BVS when we saw Jason Momoa and you could clearly tell he's just holding his breath, and then he comes up and then Aquaman, like the film, made it look a lot better. For the box office, actually, let's take our next ad break here because we'll talk about my side of the box office and a little bit more about these standalones. So we will be right back. And we're back. So I was just looking at the top 10 of all-time world. Now, here's one on the 3D. Because I was like, maybe it doesn't make it. I don't know. Avatar made a lot because obviously it was viewed quite a few times, like by many people, right? Like you myself, I saw it twice in the theater and things like that. But you did have the 3D, and 3D nowadays has like a higher rate. Now, my question is, will it do lower because maybe people like myself will go pay to see it in 2D? Because I did that again today where I looked at the Doctor Strange showings here, and it was, I can't remember, it was the 630. Oh, yeah, because you moved to the 7 one, but the 631 here at the Grand that's like 2D is like almost completely sold out. Like the first 2 rows need, people there, and that's about it. And then you go to the 645 at 3D, not a single ticket sold. Not a single ticket sold. We're a week out. And that's where it shows people will not go to 3D, but do they go, oh, well, I'll go see Avatar in 3D because that's the event. So we'll have to see that as far as people's pushback. Because me, I get the camera talks about, oh, the 3D better. I don't need to see it in 3D. And I think there are a lot more people like me that, oh, I'm over this gimmick. So I think that's going to hurt a little bit more. As far as how it's going to do, I'm very curious because I agree with your assessment 100%. No matter what this one does, I think the sequels will become diminishing returns. I think the only way it doesn't, if this one comes out and does hit really well and people are blown away by it, whether it's the effects or even the story, then they might want to return to. Because you could say it's tough, but you look at, they of course diminished as well, but Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, all billion-dollar movies, right? So you can keep a huge success rate sustained if you want to, if it's there somehow. Even those movies that are mixed kept it. But with Avatar, it's going to be very interesting. I still think it's going to be big. I just don't know how big, because I just don't know how much in the zeitgeist it is. I don't know how much the newer generation is going to care about this. And right now, I'm looking at the top 10. So the lowest one, which number 11, I didn't even know this. Fucking Frozen 2, $1.4 billion. Good for you, Frozen 2. But so the lowest in the box is top 10 is Furious 7 at 1.5 billion, and that's kind of goes up there. And then Avatar's at 2.8. So for me, it's tough because I think it could hit that billion mark, but I will say that it's gonna, I guess you could say, break records, but I don't think it's gonna be a top fiver. Top fivers, those are 2 billions. I don't think, because you said you thought it could match like Endgame and Avatar. I don't think it will match those. I really don't. Even though it's like we're in our COVID world, the good thing for this thing is things are opening up, but also this is not coming out till December. So hopefully things are going to be even better there. People will feel more comfortable going to the theaters, etc. Hopefully cases all around the world will continue to go down and stay down. I just don't see it reaching all-time level because I feel like Avatar, the first one, had something special about it where you had to see it in the big screen. This will have that, but I almost feel like there will be a certain amount of people that will go, I saw Avatar once, I don't need to see it again. We'll see with trailers and hype. They'll re-release the movie and everything like that. But yeah, I don't think so. I think that I don't think it's going to get near Avatar Endgame. I really don't. So what would you say as far as if you're in that top 10? So top 10's at 1.5 billion. You think it's going to get past that? Well, I guess you said you already thought it could match Avatar and Endgame. So you're in like the 2.7, 2.8, almost $3 billion, which only 2 movies have done that. Of being close to 3 billion.
The key is the re-release, and I guarantee it, James Cameron's going to be pumping this puppy back out in the theaters for years to come.
What?
This movie. He'll just
Avatar
re-release
2?
it. Yeah.
And not if it's not as well loved as Avatar 1.
But is Avatar 1 still even well loved? I think a lot of people kind of like have come around on that. I think if they release it initially, it does its main theater run, and then they leave it for 6 months. They put it up again for another like limited run, and then here comes 2 years down the pipeline, and we're in 2024 now when we get the third Avatar movie, and they're going to do another re-release. Like, anticipation, here's Avatar 1 and Avatar 2 again in theaters for Avatar 3. So
yeah, they could do that. Just the only thing with Avatar, even if people have turned around on it, you still have it as the biggest movie of all time. So that's kind of the gimmick of like, well, come see the biggest movie of all time. If like Avatar 2 does really well, but it's like 1.3 billion, it's not going to be like, come see the 16th biggest movie of all time. Like, it doesn't have that same... I agree with you, they could release them together, but it doesn't to me have that same effect. So we'll see. I do like I don't think it's gonna be a bad movie per se. I think that would be something very... I've always wanted that to happen. Not wanted. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I want that to... No.
Brutal.
I've always been curious about the situation where, imagine if Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring comes out and it doesn't do well at the box office and it's not well received by fans or critics, and you already have 2 and 3 filmed. That's never... I don't know if it's happened. We have stuff like Fantastic Beasts where it's gone down, but they didn't film them back to back, right? That's why they can say, hey, after this, I don't think we're going to do 4 and 5. But imagine, like, what happens if this comes out and it does not say bomb, but let's say it doesn't even hit like 1 billion. Let's say people are like, yeah, actually people are done with Avatar. They didn't want more Avatar, and let's say this movie's not good. What would be your strategy then if you're Disney, if you got this first one that, let's say, disappoints? Which, again, I don't think will happen. I think this is probably going to make $1 billion. I think people reason why I agree with Taylor with diminishing returns, I think people are just even curious to go see a first one. I don't know if their curiosity will be to see a third one, a fourth one, a fifth one. I think at that point, that's like, okay, the people that like it to love will go, and the people that are over it becomes less special then, right? It's like Force Awakens, where everybody went to go see Force Awakens because it's like Star Wars is back. Sure, you had some people that didn't like it or love it, but then you get those people that are more, yeah, you know what, I can see this at home. Like, I just want to see that first one because it's back and everything. So what were you do in that situation if, let's say, this first one kind of, like they're still going to come out. Like, I guess I'm asking you a question that they're not just going to shelve them or anything, but what would be the approach you take as far as these films are already going to be in the can and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, I can't really imagine what that would appear like. I guess like I just see this as doing well. I know Fanboy Clay in the chat, you said Cameron's other movies talked about more than Avatar, so Avatar 2 will not be in the same ballpark as the first. Like when I hear James Cameron, I think because he did Aliens and he did
the Terminators are the big
Terminator
ones.
Yeah, but
I
always think
most.
Titanic and Avatar, those are the two main ones that I always hear. So
I was gonna say that I don't like. So here's the thing: I think people bring up not even Titanic, but Terminator, Aliens is like his crown jewels of great movies. But Avatar still gets talked about a lot as not maybe like, oh, great movies. Just it's always talked about of will do well. That first one, how did it do so well? Like, it's always in the zeitgeist. Like, every time a movie crept up to it, like with Endgame, it was like, oh, can this movie finally beat Avatar? We had that conversation in 2015 when Force Awakens came out. I thought Force Awakens was going to beat Avatar, and it didn't. But anytime a movie comes out that was big in that era was, can it beat Avatar? You know, it's like every comic book movie. Is it as good as The Dark Knight? So I think it gets talked about in a different way. But yeah, I don't think it will be in the same ballpark as like, because again, I got to look at that list here. But here's the thing: like, you got Spider-Man: No Way Home, 1.8 million. That's in 6th place. I think it has a chance of cracking the top 10, which is at 1.5. But I wouldn't take that. I think it's going to be more in the 20 to 10, where that's a 1.2 to 1.5. I think it's going to be in that aspect. But again, no one thought that with Avatar 1. Go back to Avatar 1 opening weekend. It had a small opening weekend, and everyone, including myself, my dad, were like, well, that sure didn't pay off for James Cameron, but it kept making money and making money. Good thing is it's out during Christmas, and while you're talking, I'm going to look up what comes out January of next year to see. It doesn't have much competition. We're going to talk about it in a second. Sorry, Shazam's not competition. So you continue to while I get some stats for next year.
Yeah, it's coming around Christmas time is brilliant because I think it's gonna have that Star Wars effect where all the families are gonna go see it. Parents are gonna take their kids, like
Christmas movie too.
Yeah,
right?
So I just think it's gonna have that effect. And again, you have James Cameron who made that initial Avatar movie. You know, he helped get it all that money. He helped, rake in the money with that and the funds. So now you have James Cameron backed by Disney. Disney's not in the business of making a movie anything less than, their expectation is to make a $1 billion movie. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. What better way now to get it marketed out there than stack it with Doctor Strange? Like, it's just
they're treating it like a big event. Like, Doctor Strange could possibly be their biggest movie of the year. I still think if Wakanda comes out, that will be the biggest. Oh God, yeah, that's tough. What do you think does better? Not even box office opening week, like that's tough. Like, I feel like Wakanda versus Avatar is another big battle because I feel like that first Black Panther, huge with the audience, but also just, I hate saying this, but I always just feel there's a general like curiosity of like what they're gonna do with this movie, right?
Absolutely, there really is. Like, that's the thing. That's the same thing that you said, S Bubs. Like, that's attributed to Avatar too. People want to see why it took so long. What's the kicker? There's going to be that buzz going around and word to mouth and everything. And so I think that's just something that it really has going for it, as opposed to a movie that's, 2 years later, they just pumping out a sequel to it. So, and even then, yes, Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker both came out a couple years after their predecessors, and they still made $1 billion. But that's where I will attribute that longer period of time. I think that it's got a higher chance of success.
Yeah, it's tough though because you look at Endgame, right, and look at like Avengers was it's in the top 10, and then Age of Ultron's just under, but then you have Infinity War's like at 4, and then Endgame at 2. So that did build, but that's a different type of situation. I think Star Wars, obviously, we've talked about it many times, the whole variety of issues, but I still think Rise of Skywalker had that same thing of like how they're going to pull off the Leia stuff. I'm not saying that's what got to 1 billion, but that definitely helped it. Yeah. So, and for me, the sequel things, that's the same thing where there's pros and cons to it. Because the con is what I just talked about with Endgame. If you don't have this kind of continuing story of following these characters, instead of building up to this finale, that's not there. If it's just, even if Jake, like, what his name was Jake Sully, right? And and what was the girl's name? So he's
Natiri.
So like if you're building to 2, 3, 4 to the final whatever, that's big. If they're just in a movie or if the parents are just around, that's cool, but you're not building to something. So I could see a trajectory with those movies having this one comes out, it's big, and then each one will be less than the other one, like the Star Wars one, not like Avengers Endgame. But then the counter is with it being like, in a sense, anthology movies, people can easily jump on. You don't have to have that, I need to see all these. And I think that's why they're all titled like that, because it's not Avatar 2, 3, 4. It's just adventures in the Avatar world, right? So that's where anybody could jump on. You could not see 2 and 3, but you can go see 4. But at the same point, I think even then, whether they're, standalones or continuing a story, I think number 2 is going to be like the one that comes out this year. That will be the kicker of gets people to continue to see it or not, like the quality of that. Because even if people go pay it, here's the biggest example. I think people curiosity will see it, but I think for even myself that looked at it and like, man, Avatar, what a spectacle. I got to see it one more time. I think if they see it and they go, it's just more Avatar, they won't go back for a second viewing. It'll scratch that itch. It's kind of like if you, here's a good dating analogy I've never done. Let's say you dated someone when you're young and in your youth and all this stuff and lots of, hormones going on and it didn't work out. But then it's like 10 years later and it's like a high school reunion. This never happened to me, but let's say it's a high school reunion. No, it didn't. Honestly, it didn't. I'm not doing it for I didn't go to a high school reunion. I don't think we had one because of COVID. But let's say you go 10 years later and you meet the same person and you go, you know what? Maybe it could work this time. Maybe this person's the one for me. And you go on that first date and maybe you have some shenanigans or whatnot. But at the end of the night, you go, you know what? That itch was scratched for me. That I don't need that anymore. It's the same thing that happened to me once. A similar situation where I was dating a girl and there was a long chase, and then she had a boyfriend, all this stuff, and finally she was single. I went on that date, and then stuff happened, and then you know what? I woke up the next day, Taylor. I'm not trying to sound cold here, but I was like, I don't have any feelings for this person anymore because I found out it was just like, you know what? It was chasing the dragon. It was what you thought was there in your mind, like you said. Why did this movie take so long? Once you see the magic trick, the question is, do you want to stay for more, or is it go, I'm good, I saw it? And that's where it's like, that could be the case where people come to see Avatar 2 once, and then they bow out. And when 3 comes and 4 comes, they go, not really for me. And that's where I think I wish James Cameron didn't make all these movies like right away. I wish he made just 2 and then continued if like depending on success or his whatnot. But yeah, he made these movies, so it's going to be coming out. As of right now, December, they showed some scenes and stuff, so that's looking good for it actually coming out. Like we said, there will be a trailer. We'll be definitely reviewing that trailer. And again, I'm not interested or excited for this movie in the sense of the quality. I think it'll be, I'm just more curious. And SBUB says, it could be a 10-year wait for, it was all right. And 100% it could be, right? And that's where it's going to be interesting, but a lot of tech has improved. But you had already, Maddie had asked us our overall thoughts on Avatar. You had already talked about yours. You love it. You're seeing it like 3 or 4 times a year and something like that. I imagine, going to go see it in September in the big screen re-release for Avatar 1.
Oh, I'm tempted to. Like, I got the DVD edition. I don't even have the Blu-ray one, but mine is the DVD that has like the 3 extended editions. So there's the theatrical, then the extended, then like the super extended, and it's like an extra like 40 minutes of video footage that you get. It's fan-freaking-tastic. I love the movie, and I would honestly love to do a double feature. Just enjoy like 6 hours of just fucking Pandora, just going fucking hard. Like, let's get in there.
Well, September, you don't have much. You have this is, I know, a big movie for you. September 2nd coming out on the Friday. Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. So I know that's on your calendar. You got Salem's Lot. That's what I'll be going to. Is the Stephen King movie. And then the only thing that's coming out that you won't be seeing, I don't think, is Don't Worry, Darling, instead of the next Florence Pugh movie. That's the same day as Avatar. So September is pretty light. So I think it's prime for a Taylor viewing.
I think so. It'd be a good time for a retrospective too. Like when it first came out in theaters, I saw it three to four times in theaters, and it's opening month. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about that since GV started. That whenever the year does come out, we'll do a retro. We're just waiting for it to happen. So yeah, Maddie, you'll get to hear our full thoughts on when we do a retro in fall. But yeah, for me, I hate to say it, but it's just like I have the same kind of critiques that everyone else. Like I have the same take that everyone else has. Like it's a spectacle. Looks really cool in the moment. Like there's some very fun visuals, but the story's just, it's fine. It's just there. The performances are fine. You know, it is everything everyone said. Ferngully, Pocahontas. Like I don't have a unique take, and I think that's what could hurt the second one eventually. Of just like it's relatively rinse and repeat, but hopefully not, because if it's 4 separate standalone stories. I will say I can't remember that I think I've only seen it like 3.5 times. I saw it once in theaters. I went back because it was like my sister's favorite movie at one point. We saw it again at home. And then a few years ago, me and Emily put it on. And about an hour in, I was just like, wasn't watching it be like, oh, I don't like this movie anymore. I just was, and not even bored. I just didn't care to watch it again. So I just like, I think we fell asleep and we were like, you want to put it back on? It? No, and we never returned to it. So it's like on Netflix somewhere in like an hour in and something like that. So yeah, I don't have much interest for this film, the franchise, anything. I'll see them because of the podcast. And this one, the first one, I'd see out of curiosity. If I wasn't doing the podcast, I don't think I would be seeing 3 and 4 and 5 unless the second one blew me away. But yeah, that's my general level of excitement for Avatar, my thoughts on it. So, Taylor, anything else on Avatar?
I just feel bad for all those people that saw the first one and couldn't wait for the sequel, and then they ended up dying, and they, you know, like that sucks. That's one of my fears actually. Is like
it's gonna happen at some point.
It's gonna happen at some point. Like I hate that there's a point like, okay, Star Wars was wrapped up and concluded. I didn't have to worry about it. It was wrapped up, and now I love getting all this content. But there's gonna be a point where I'm gonna be like 89, 99 years old. And they're going to be like, and we got Star Wars 22 coming out where, you know, Ian McGregor is back with Force Ghost Luke or something like that. And I'm going to be like, shit, I'm not going to be able to enjoy this because I'm dead. So there's a point where you die and the content keeps coming out.
I feel like with your age, the more apt comparison would be like 40 years, 50 years from now, like Tom Holland's come back to play Spider-Man, and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see him back as Spider-Man, and then you die. Like, I don't think Ewan McGregor's still going to be around when you're 80, unfortunately, you know? So.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, but it's going to happen. There's always going to be a movie that's why I take it as much as I can. There's going to be a movie one day that you're excited for and you may never see, you know? But just think about what we got so far. Lots of good stuff. So, speaking of good stuff for Taylor Field, good stuff for other people. I think it's fine stuff. Shazam 2, Shazam Fury of the Gods made the smartest move, I guess, they could have, but even then I'll get into it. So Shazam 2, this had come out, obviously there's the big shifts where originally it was Aquaman 2 on the same day as Avatar. To me, that was like, okay, Avatar's going to do better, but Aquaman has a big audience, $1 billion film. I think it's going to do pretty well. All the shifts happen, yet da-da-da. Aquaman and Shazam switch years, and Shazam 2 gets the unfortunate spot of being the same day as Avatar, but Mario gets delayed, so what do they do? Okay, well, let's delay this movie 1 week back. So that was smart. Shazam 2 is coming out December 21st, so a week after. Taylor Field, how do you think it's going to do? Like, in its second week, do you think it could be the #1 movie at the box office, or do you think it'd still be Avatar?
It's not going to beat Avatar. Not unless Avatar significantly flops, but it's not going to beat Avatar.
Yeah,
I think there's people like Kirklin out there that aren't going to go see this movie, right? So,
he might put the podcast now, like with the way it is, but we'll. He doesn't seem excited about it.
There's many people without a podcast to motivate them to go see it. So,
yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, Aquaman made $1 billion. Shazam 1, how much did that make again?
I was gonna look, but it was no. What's really unfortunate for them too, when you search Shazam, you know what the first thing that comes up is?
No.
The app.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, so obviously you just put in Shazam movie, it happens. But when I did it, like all all those results were that. So it was the thing where it made money, but it wasn't like a runaway hit. So it had a budget of 80 to 100 million, and it made about 366 million. So again, it made some change. It was profitable, but wasn't like, man, this was huge. It was a lower kind of opening too. So I guess it's strange because, this is what I meant to say earlier when we were talking about Avatar. But let me just pull it up here. Did I lose it? Anyways, in January, there's not much coming out next year. So one, I think that gives Avatar even more time to run roughshod. The only thing that's coming out is just like, as Buzz pointed out, the huge next hit movie for Sony, Craven. That is coming out in January. But other than that, there's nothing really going on. There's that Megan movie I tagged you in about the robot doll or whatever. I also didn't know this Megan with the E. They've switched it to 3, so I don't know what that is, but there's some sci-fi stuff going on there. Yeah, I don't know, because I know someone would say, Craven's there. I feel like they'd be better to release it in the month of Craven or a few weeks after, whether it's the same day as Craven, because I feel like Shazam would do better than Craven, or just end of January, just even separate it. I know what they want, right? They want what we talked about. They want the December people are going to run and see it. But I think Avatar is still the movie people will go to see during those holiday seasons because of curiosity, because the old ones, there'll be people, grandparents, parents like, I saw Avatar at this age. I want to take my kids to see this. Yeah, Avatar for the first movie, there's some dark moments, but it's a pretty family safe movie. You know, like it's one that lots of kids saw and stuff like that. Like, I don't think you have to really worry. So yeah, Shazam 2, it's not looking good for it. And what I think is going to be the end result is Shazam 2 is going to come out, do fine to break even to maybe lose money, and you won't see Shazam around again. You'll just maybe see him in team ups and stuff like that. You know, like whenever they do Justice League 2, I think he could be in that. But I don't know. How do you think opening weekend wise, Avatar will be in the second week, and maybe think, okay, Avatar will still be running roughshod, still get that second weekend. Do you think it'll still be profitable enough to be a hit movie of like, okay, even though Avatar's out, there's enough with band for people to see this movie, or even just in January, people to see this movie? Or do you think that this is maybe just going to fall flat on its face at the box office?
I don't think it's going to fall flat on its face. I think it'll have a profit behind it. There's a large DC fan base out there, and I think they'll rally together. And even members of the GA that are curious are going to want to see this. People that like the first one that aren't big DC fans are going to want to see Zachary Levi, right? And I think it's got some.
Are they? Is Zachary Levi a guy that people really want to see?
I'm not like. I mean, I enjoy some of his stuff, but I'm not like itching to be like, "Where's the next Zachary Levi fix I gotta get?"
I'm not, and I don't know if anyone is, except for Dylan, who
I'm sure
Chuck.
some exist out there. So
some exist out there. I just don't know. I don't know if there's a huge contingency. Family Clay says I think it will beat Avatar for a week or two, but Avatar will come back on top.
Not a chance.
I won't. Taylor said not a chance. That was a hard not a chance. I don't think so either, because I have to look at Shazam's opening weekend. Let me just take a look here, and then. But yeah, Taylor, keep talking if you have something to say.
Yeah, it's just a movie I think that people are gonna go see it. They're gonna support it and want to indulge in it. But I think again, like, yes, it's been a long time since we got that first Shazam, but between the two, I just default to the buzz that Avatar is going to generate. People are going to want to see what's going on, where Shazam is going to have so many, cool suits and everything like that. It's a superhero film, suits. But we all have. I'm not saying anything about superhero exhaustion, but when you're presented with the new superhero movie, and then you're presented with this new movie that's been 10 years in the making with new revolutionary technology and choreography and aesthetics, you're going to think, okay, superhero movie? Well, I went and saw that Morbius movie, the GA is speaking here, and it wasn't that good. Like, I don't know if I'm going to go into like the Shazam, like, the next like big superhero movie we have that they might think is like, oh, well, Doctor Strange is pretty good, and like Thor was pretty good. So at least there's some cleansing of the palette there for superhero movies. But at this time, most of the GA, like my mom she sent me a text. She said, like, I want to see the Batman, but my friend bought the tickets for Morbius, so we're gonna go see that. And I said, oh, that's a shame. You would have liked Batman more. And she's like, well, I'll let you know what I think of it afterwards. And sure enough, she texted me and she said, really wasn't like super into Morbius. Like, yeah, you should go see the Batman then for sure.
When
And
Taylor sent me that news,
Holy God, what are you showing me? Hey, come on.
I was emotionally hurt. So here's one thing here's a stat where Avatar, even though here's the weird thing, like Avatar opened 77 and people thought, oh, it's not that great, and then started to build. So I think the sequel could do that a little bit, but that opened 77. Shazam in like 2018 opened at 54. So it even like 2009 Avatar opened bigger than 2018 Shazam. I think Shazam's going to have a lower opening than 54 million because I think Avatar is going to have a big opening weekend. I think it could be near 100 million. And then people that didn't see it the first weekend will go and watch it. So I don't, again, I think like Taylor said before, unless it just comes out and people like, this movie's rank. Like this is not like it's not like if it gets really bad reviews, but I don't think it will. I think it'll still be enough of a crowd pleaser. So yeah, I don't know, Clay. We'll have to get back in December because we still got two. I'm holding you to your Ahsoka's going to beat Loki numbers, and I don't think that's happening because Obi-Wan's
that's one of his
that's one of his things. And then
Interesting.
Get ready, everyone. You got a month to #Travis told you where Loki kicks the shit out of Obi-Wan. So everyone keeps, not everyone, but some people keep saying, oh yeah, Obi-Wan, that could be the one. Not anymore. With the way they're marketing Obi-Wan, I don't think so. But Shazam was sandwiched in between Captain Marvel and Endgame. Yeah, it was, but this is just sandwiched between like just Avatar and Avatar. Like I know it's not two movies, but I feel like Avatar is just such a big beast of a film. Like it's the sequel to the biggest film of all time. Now it's Disney marketing it. They're gonna make you think like Shazam doesn't even exist. Like they're like people are gonna be like, what's Shazam? Like I'm gonna go see Avatar. Like and maybe
they won't even play a preview for Shazam in the previews for Avatar.
No, like yeah, it's between. Oh, there you go. It's between Avatar and Puss in Boots. And here's the sad thing. I honestly think there's a chance. Now I actually wouldn't take this bet because of Puss in Boots and Shrek being down a little longer. But at the height of the Shrek and Puss in Boots era, there's part of me that thinks Puss in Boots would open higher than Shazam 2. I really do, because kids' movies can play. They can play really great at Christmas. And here's the thing, like Espa's showing up as like I don't know if it's a joke, but still, you have Avatar, Shazam, Puss in Boots. I think with families, speaking for myself, speaking for other people, with kids, I think Shazam's going to rank third all the time with those, because I think it's going to be, we should see Avatar, and if that's too much for the kids, we'll go see Puss in Boots. Now, I know you might see, Shazam, that's that family-friendly movie, but I just feel because it's a cartoon, they go, I don't know, I want to see what the first Puss in Boots open up to. It's not going to open up the same as that, because it's been a while since the sequel, but...
There's no way, like, you could make that case that Shazam is a family movie, because it definitely, like, I wouldn't bring like my little kids to see it, because there's definitely that first one was brutal.
No, it is though, in the sense of like it's all about the orphanage and those kids and the siblings. Like the two main leads are kids, right? Like that's where it is like a kid family.
True,
movie.
but then the demons, right? Like that.
Yeah,
was
but they didn't show that in the
too
trailer,
much.
so
They just bait the parents.
Yeah, it's one of those awkward things where like, oh, we're seeing a family movie, and like boom. So opening weekend for Puss in Boots was 34. So yeah, I definitely don't. I think Puss in Boots, like as Bub says, could be a big hit, but I don't think it would open more than Shazam. But I still think it could make more money overall, because like it's a family movie, kids movie, like the fucking Bad Guys, which all you guys love the book, but.
In regards to this, then I would say like it's more believable to swap it out. Like I think Shazam will beat Puss in Boots for a week, but then Puss in Boots will come back out on top, while Avatar is always up there.
I think the only thing Clay is right is, for some reason, because here's one other thing that Shazam could have that we don't know, is Black Adam comes out in October. If there is an end credit or anything alluding to The Rock appearing in Shazam 2, being connected to Shazam 2, that does help it a little bit. That does help it if they go, oh, The Rock is a part of this. That could be a thing. Yeah, it has Florence Pugh and Shazam doesn't, 100%. Puss in Boots wins, #Pugh Boys. But the thing is, I think Clay could be right for, I wouldn't say 2 weeks, but 1 week. For some reason, if Avatar opens and Shazam opens up, it could maybe beat it for 2, but then Avatar take it right there. But I would take the bet. I'll take that $1 Canadian bet of, that's not worth anything to you, Clay. But I would take the bet that I think Avatar will honestly be number one until I guess maybe Kraven. But Kraven's a movie that I think is going to do even worse than Shazam. Like I think Morbius was the sign of things to come for Sony. Of like, hey, when you don't have Venom, a super well known character, when you have Morbius, when you have Kraven, when you have El Muerto, oh no, El Muerto, when you have that, I don't, and it's not just the characters, it's just the general lack of excitement. I can't wait to see what Kraven does. And sorry, I don't think Aaron Taylor Johnson is a star either that pulls people in. I don't think Zachary Levi is, but at least it has like the DC machine behind it. Kraven the Hunter, like I guess you got Russell Crowe in there, but I don't know. In January, that's why I would say DC should just push it into January. Make it be Kraven's problem. Take the thunder away from Kraven and do that. January at least gives you 2 to 3 weeks away from Avatar, not 1 week away. You know, I'm willing to make a pizza bet on beating it at least 2 weeks. Oh, I'd take that bet. I'll send you the money to buy you a pizza because for 1 week, I don't know if I'd take the bet. I'd take the dollar bet. Pizza bet, yeah. Fans, listen to this. If so, Shazam has to beat Avatar weekend 2 and 3 for me to give Clay a pizza. If it only beats it 1 week, I get the pizza. I like those odds. So, and I like the fucking like $60 pizza. No, I'm joking.
S-Bubs, make an actual note on your calendar, whatever you got. Like, make a note of this, so we're gonna reference you when the time comes.
A bat calzone. No, it's gonna be a fucking Navi calzone soon. It's gonna be like you eat its little tail with the hair, everything like that. Good. Anything else to say on Shazam and its box office and anything like that? All right, we're going to take our next ad break, and then we're going to be back with some Tales of the Jedi. So we'll be right back. And we're here. So Tales of the Jedi, we had seen this like art, like concept art, just the title leak a little while ago. I think it was, 4 or 6 months ago. And it was so funny because when that happened, it was a little bit before we got the Book of Boba Fett. And I remember, and I thought people were right. It was like, man, so you have Grogu and you have Luke in an episode. We just got this Boba Fett episode of them training together. Tales of the Jedi. This must be what that show is. It's going to be Luke and Grogu training. And man, oh, here we are now. Hey, Grogu's back in Mandalorian. Luke's gone. So what it's been revealed as is it is an animated anthology show. And it is being, I don't think show run, but Dave Filoni has his hands on. He's either producing or he's a executive. Of course, he's executive producer, but I don't know to the extent. But this is happening. What are your thoughts, Taylor, on this show? It's animated Jedi anthology, and what do you want from it? And I will say also, I'll bring it up here in a second, but we're getting a panel of it at Star Wars Celebration as well. So we're gonna get like the full on details in just a couple weeks here.
I don't know what's so difficult about giving us more live action Jedi, but I digress. So the animation.
We got 3 movies since 2015.
I want more. Like there was like 1 or 2 Jedi max and all of those. I want Jedis. Like give me fucking like a bunch of them.
Give me Jedi's fucking.
Yeah. Dave
Rail
Filoni massaging
Alvarez.
them in. Like.
What's my boy from High Republic who's fucking Alzar? Give me a fuck fest.
Alzar
97.
man, yeah.
He's a man, right?
I just think that we need more of that. But anyway, so we have the animated component here. Now, after what I saw in Clone Wars Season 7, that was absolutely fantastic animation. Reciprocated again in The Bad Batch. Just absolutely beautiful with where they're taking this new animation studio and all that jazz. So I think...
you forgot one, too.
I forgot one.
Visions
Bad
as
Batch. Well. Oh, well, I'm not including that because the art style is completely different. How they animated it.
It is, but it's just like you look at their versatility of what they've been doing, and I'm not saying it has to be anime, but it doesn't mean for sure it's going to be that same type of Clone Wars Bad Batch style, right? They could go complete directions. So that's what I mean. Like they've just shown they can do multiple animations and do them very well.
Yeah, they've definitely got the right people with the right tools there. That's for sure. So I don't have any concern really about animation in general with what Disney is able to do. Now, anthology with different Jedi doing different things, like sign me up. Let's get on that train and ride it all day long because, I mean, this just sounds absolutely fantastic. I don't know what era they're going to be diving into or what they're going to be exploring, but if they give me a little bit of Jedi prequel, a little bit of Jedi after prequel, and everything in between, I am there for it. I'd love to see a little bit more Jedi dealing with clones, maybe another Jedi surviving his purge or something like
Fuck
that.
off.
I
You're
would
talking
be
about
down
no,
for it.
no more clones.
Those are Tales of the Jedi.
No more. No, there's.
You know we're getting it in Ahsoka, right?
We're getting in fucking Obi-Wan too, apparently, with Anakin. That one I'm more for because I want to see Anakin. I want to see Hayden and Ewan wearing the Clone Wars outfits. If they do a fucking Clone Wars flashback, and I got to see more Clone Wars after we were indicted with it for 7 seasons of a show that's very overrated and so much like dark
overrated.
Overrated every day.
No.
If I gotta see like the fact that like they told everything they could about Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then like we're also putting in this book Brotherhood. It's like fuck off. Like I'm sure the book's fine.
You're
It's
not
just, like,
reading the book though.
No, I'm not. But you know why? Because I'm done with the clones. We've said anything about the clones has to be enough with the clones. You had 7 seasons of the Clone Wars. Isn't that enough for you? That's enough. No more Order 66. We don't need to see Kyle Kestis go through Order 66. But guess what we do? So, anyways. I want to see them in the outfits. But if they do a flashback to the Clone Wars, they're not even in the outfits, then just will fuck right off, you know? Fucking Filoni messing with Deborah Chow's show, but won't even stick to his continuity if that happens. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't use Vader. You can't use Darth Maul, but Vader is pretty exciting. We've used him in Rogue One and use him here again. Fuck, they're going to fuck up Obi-Wan, aren't they? They're going to fuck up Obi-Wan, and I'm going to be alone. I'm not going to have my Star Wars anymore. But the thing is, yeah, no more Clone Wars. So I was going to say, do you think it's going to take the Visions routes of Jedis and characters we don't know of, or do you think they will have stories about Jedis we've met before?
I think you have new Jedi that we have never heard of before that are associated or communicate with Jedi we're familiar with. I think you're gonna have a time period where this new Jedi we never met is gonna.
Holy God, what are you showing me? Come on!
Oh my God. You're going to have a new Jedi associated with Yoda. I mean, maybe you could even have a portion where this Jedi comes into contact with Qui-Gon or something like that. Like, there's different potential they can do with these different time periods.
Oh, I don't like that. I like the idea. This idea of anthology story animation about Jedi is great. Go. I'm there. I'm excited to watch it. I would like a mix. If they were to say, hey, we are doing 10 episodes, even if it's not the majority, if they said, hey, 6 of these episodes are about new characters, different eras, but then 4 of these are about Jedis you know and love, you know, and just little ventures the same way, I absolutely love it. People, you know, they might say other things, but Claudia Gray's Master and Apprentice, look at that. That is just a Jedi, you know, partner adventure, but it's obviously with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, and it does like allude to a lot of stuff coming in the prequel, but it's just more strengthening of that relationship and that dynamic. That's all you need. You don't need and this was the time they almost took down Count Dooku. No, like just give me give me an Obi-Wan Anakin story in between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. On them an adventure, just a one-off. That'd be fantastic. Like that's what I want. I want a fucking one-off of my God. I want a one-off of Count Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn, and that could be the fucking testing the water. Because I still think that's the best prequel idea that they have not touched. A Qui-Gon Jinn Count Dooku prequel, like go way back, cast actors that are very much younger, stuff like that. And you know what? What is the number one thing I want to see from this show, Taylor Field?
Number one thing, we want to see them have sex, right?
Well, I always want to see that, but that'd be number 2. What would be the number 1 story I'd want them to tell?
Rael Averross having sex?
No, he's again with the having sex. That's like 3. So 2 of them. Number 2 would be I definitely want something in the Old Republic, so I hope they go that route, and I hope the High Republic as well. But number 1, this is the prime. This is the perfect. This is the moment. This is the time where sure we've gone to comic books. It's not good enough. This is the time where we get a fucking Ben Solo story. This is the time where we get to see Luke and Ben go on an adventure before Force Awakens, and you get to see him as an actual Jedi. Because man, seeing that comic book and seeing him as Ben Solo the Jedi when he landed on a planet and he had like the jet lightsaber and he had like an outfit like it was almost like a combine of like Luke and Han. Like I want to see same thing like Obi-Wan and Anakin, just an adventure, just something they had to do, training, whatever it may be. It could even be a episode about alluring to the dark side, and he's like in the middle of it. Whatever it may be, I think this could be a prime spot for Ben Solo. Do I think anything's gonna happen? Probably not. I think we might get one or two. I think it's more like Taylor's Ride where you get stuff, and I'd even be down for this. It's like, oh, it's Plo Koon episode, absolutely. But I think you'll get more of the newer characters, and I guess again, I'm fucking starving over here as a Kylo Ren fanboy. You know, like, where is my fucking Clone Wars animated show of like the in between of Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens? Where we got that one Ben Solo comment, like, where is it? Where is the content of Ben Solo? Do the stuff where you don't need Adam Driver. Do more comic books. Do more stories. That's why I'm going to read that fucking Luke and Lando book, because he's going to talk about Kylo and that. Like, where's my Ben Solo stuff? Especially, it's so weird is like almost the most vile, the worst, like making thumbnails of Kathleen Kennedy's fired fuckers in their basements. You'll talk to them like, I hate everything about these movies, but Adam Driver's Kylo Ren's pretty good. Everybody loves Kylo Ren. He sells merch. Adam Driver's a big actor. Where the fuck is he? Why aren't they doing anything with Rey or Finn or Poe? Obviously, there's an answer, but like, why have they not done anything more with these characters? But I digress. I think this would be the perfect, just like, imagine just a 20-minute episode of Luke and Ben, and just like to test the waters to see, like, what do you think? Do you think there's any % of that happening in this show?
I would have to say there's definitely a %. I can't disregard it completely because
what is what's the number then?
It's low.
Number?
It's pretty low. It's unfortunate. But I mean, it's because they're focusing on this old Republic era, right? That's their
their
go-to, right? High Republic, yes.
I'm like, if they're high old Republic, I'd have not many complaints right now. But like, fuck yeah, Revan.
Yeah, it's just High Republic era. That's what their writers and their story content individuals are all focusing on right now. They're going through their next phase of the High Republic stuff. So I think it's going to be centered kind of a little bit more around that stuff. And Tales of the Jedi Dark Times only, as Bub says. As much as I want that post Rise of Skywalker content, or even like between episode 6 and 7, where you're right, you get that Ben Solo training with Luke Skywalker. I think there's a lot of potential there. I think it's in the works, and I think they're mapping out. I just think they're focusing on their High Republic era right now, and once they kind of cement that foundation a little bit more, then by all means, they'll probably dive back into that post Return of the Jedi era and probably have a lot of relevance and association to what they've established in the High Republic, and again back in the OG films and the prequel stuff they can source from, because you get a little bit of that in Last Jedi with Luke and what his adventure he went on and everything he acquired. And I think they wanted to not pull a bunch of legends for that kind of stuff, but build a universe that they are familiar with and they're aware of and that they can pull from and source from moving forward. So I think that's what we'll get when you're dealing with future Ben Solo, future Rey, and future Poe, Dameron, and Finn and all that. So
yeah, I hope. Like I said, I'm interested from this panel. I hope we get that answer, whether it's concept art or teaser or just him talking about it as far as what is it? Is it all entirely new Jedis? Is it focusing on smaller Jedis? Is it a mix? That's what I'd love. Even if it was like 10 episodes and 9 episodes are all new, and then episode 10 was boom, it's the Luke and Kylo episode or Luke and Ben episode, they'd be like, fuck, here we go, this is gonna be big. So I hope they get to touch upon, like, they're letting Filoni touch all this fucking stuff. They're letting him touch Obi-Wan. They're letting him ruin Boba Fett.
On everything.
Yeah, they're letting him ruin Boba Fett.
He didn't ruin Boba Fett. I attribute that mostly to Rodriguez.
No, that's all. So, okay, sorry. Kim Rodriguez and Jon Favreau ruined Boba Fett. Oh, it was a team effort, and they're going to go ruin Mandalorian too. They ruined Grogu's arc. Man, they fixed CGI Luke, though, so that's good. They maybe ruined Obi-Wan by fucking with Deborah Chow and taking her story and taking away from her, so just great. Do you think this will be a week-by-week or a full drop of shorts? I think it all depends, and that's the other thing that I do worry. I don't want to be like, remember a few years ago they dropped like it was like Star Wars of Destiny or something like that, where it was like, I think it was like a bunch of stories from like female point of views, and I was fine with that. But it was like they were only like 5 minutes, like bite-sized things, and they were like fun enough. I don't want, like, sure, I'll watch it, but I don't want that. I want more visions where it could be anywhere from 12 minutes to 22 minutes. So I'm like, I would like the 22-minute route if I had my choice. But so it all depends. If they're all kind of shorts like Visions, then it could just be a one drop. But if it's I want What If. That's what I'd like. I want the kind of size of What If for these. What do you think's going to happen, though, for size-wise or runtime of these shows?
I expect nothing less than half an hour to 45 minutes is what I want.
Expect nothing less.
I expect nothing less.
So does your hype drop? But they're like, oh, we're doing this show, and they're all about 7 to 12 minutes.
I mean, what am I going to do with that? Like, what am I going to do with a 7-minute show?
Did you not keep talking while I was removing my sweater?
no.
Oh my god!
You were gonna say something.
You and Kirklin, just the worst for killing time. You would not know that these fuckers been podcasting for 7 years. Jesus. Let's take an ad break, and then here's my big warning. If you do not want to know, so Doctor Strange put out a TV spot. We're going to talk about it. It is a confirmed official piece of licensing. We're not talking about rumors or innuendos or spoilers. They put it out there, but if you do not want to know, now's your time to tune out, and we thank you very much. So after the ad break, we'll be right back with this strange news. And we are back. So Taylor Phil, could you go screen share? Can you pull up that tweet that I sent you today? So there was a TV spot that came out for Doctor Strange. And the reason we're talking about, and the reason I shared it to Taylor is because I don't think, and again, this is your last warning. If you don't want to know anything about Strange or cameos, tune out now. But I do think this is a cameo that one has been obviously, it's been rumored for a long time. Like we've covered this quite a while ago. I think we even covered this before, What If, and there's a hint. But even on the poster for the movie, the last one that came with that trailer around Super Bowl, you had an image with this character's symbol. So it was clearly, okay, they're going to do this. If they didn't, why are they doing all this stuff? I guess just red herring. But they confirmed today through this TV spot at least that at first Taylor thought was fucking Falcon that was in this. But it's not. So here we go. So play this. And I do have some questions about why they put this spot in. I don't know. Oh, you got that slow one on again, don't you?
No.
Oh, no, I didn't. So, okay. So you might have to put it on to get it. So there you go. All right. Let's see. Can you pull off the pause? One more. Oh, okay. One more. That's good. That's good enough. So
Captain Norway.
Captain Norway is in the house. But so Captain Carter, we've seen the shield everywhere. We've heard this rumored. I would say it's confirmed. They smartly, which I think is great, hide her face. Like the way they shoot that, you can't see it at all. So it's great for the TV spot. One, I'm a little, I'm happy. We got to talk about the MCU draft in the future with the boys after the movie about point system. So either way, I got a point. In the Doctor Strange draft, though, Taylor, I did not get her. Kirklin got her. So
Kirklin went with her in the Doctor Strange
he got
draft.
first pick, and he got her. So hang on. Let me read off what happened. So, yeah, he got first pick. He picked Captain Carter, Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch, Edward Norton's Hulk, Halle Berry's Storm, Evan Peters' Quicksilver, Toby as Spider-Man, Wesley Snipes' Blade, Tom Cruise Iron Man, The Watcher, and Lou Ferrigno's Hulk. I got second dibs, so I got Deadpool, Chris Evans' Human Torch. I went Terrence Howard as War Machine because I want them to pay off the next time, baby, and I think that would be great. Ian McKellen's Magneto, Ghost Rider for you, John Krasinski as Reed Richards, Chris Evans Hydra Cap, Ben Affleck as Daredevil, Eric Bana's Hulk, and I went with an animated version of Wolverine. That's what I did.
Eric Bana's Hulk. That is a deep pull.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So we all knew whoever got first dibs was going to pick Captain Carter. He got Captain Carter. And I am interested because this scene, we've seen this a few times of Wanda facing down these people. This is a movie that I've taken my daughter to Venom. I've taken her to Spider-Man No Way Home and Shang-Chi. We're not taking her to this because it looks like a little more on the scary side. But I am actually glad we're doing that because Captain Carter is maybe her favorite character. I think there's a good chance she's about to get fucking obliterated right here by Wanda. So probably best that we see this first. But yeah, Taylor, what are your thoughts on Falcon / Captain Norway / Captain Carter? Why did you thought it was Falcon? Because you said wings. I don't see any wings.
It was the Jets that fooled me. As soon as Because, yeah, you're like, oh, there's a certain character or whatever. And, like, I was watching on my phone. It's a tiny little thing. Well, it's an iPhone.
You thought I'd
but,
send
like,
you a warning about Falcon? I would have been like, hey, Falcon confirmed for Doctor Strange. Like, come on. He's not even Falcon anymore. He's Captain
Well,
America.
I saw these, and I was like, oh, shit, yeah, it's the Falcon and Doctor Strange. That's kind of cool. And then, like, boom, then the shield. Again, it's fucking blurry as shit. And, like, I'm trying not to, like...
That looks like
I'm
a
trying to,
Britain sign.
Yeah, well, it was just happening so fast, and I just thought, oh, okay, it's definitely Falcon. Well, he's got the Captain America shield and stuff like that. But yeah,
Imagine that first movie is Cap, Wanda fucks him up and kills him. Pause right there. We'll talk about him in a second. But man, everyone's like, yeah, Falcon's gonna be Cap, and then whoosh, he's gone. So obviously, we've talked about this before, but I imagine one, you can answer this. Are you excited? But two, why do you think they show this in this TV spot? Because to me, not many people are going to see this TV spot. And to me, if they're going to show it in a TV spot, why didn't they just put in the last trailer? Like, that's what is very confusing me. We're a week out, and I don't think this was needed, and it didn't kill me hype because we pretty much know she's there. But if they were going to show this, why didn't they show it in a trailer?
Again, I'm not a professional marketer like Disney is. Like, they're next level. That's the next tier. So they obviously know what they're doing with this, and I don't know what that is. These are two. The Captain Carter thing is a very, very revealing scene to just put into a TV spot of all things.
Yeah.
And then this is we all heard the voice, so maybe they thought that people would think, okay, well, they know Patrick Stewart's and expect it. Maybe this is probably much more for a fan, I guess. Maybe that's the play here with this TV spot with the Captain Carter, and now with actual visual representation of Xavier here. Maybe that's just to really entice and get the blood boiling on for all the fans and the Marvel fans out there, I guess you could say, right? Because I imagine Twitter and social media just blew up because people were just absolutely livid about seeing this. I even saw on my main news feed, pages were just being super bold and just like in the headline, Captain Carter showing a new Doctor Strange TV spot, and then with the fucking thumbnail as Captain Carter, it's like, what the fuck? Like, spoilers.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think the reason I've not seen too much blowback, I've seen people be like, hey, time to turn media preview off, mute some words if you don't want to see anything. Because the thing is, like, they did have her shield in the poster, right? So I feel like they kind of tipped the hat there.
Which poster is this? I need to see this because I don't even know if like
It's the one
I
with
saw
Deadpool.
that.
It's the one with Super Bowl. Just put in Doctor Strange poster Captain Carter, and you'll see it zoomed in. It's one of the pieces of glasses where it's showing multiverse stuff, and her shield is in one of them. You weren't on this cast when we broke it down, but her shield was on the poster already. Tiz looking at it.
I see like where the person circled it. Holy fuck! Someone really went in and like looked at that, eh? Jesus
Oh, yeah.
Christ!
People still think you can see Deadpool there. But yeah, so like I said, I don't know why they put it there. I feel like if you're going to do this, just put it in the trailer. Espo says Captain Carter was trending high on Twitter Day. So maybe that's it. You just get one last week thing of like, oh, it's Captain Carter. But I don't know. I'm interested to see what version of Captain Carter this is, because is this the one from What If? Because I think we're all under the impression that one is going to fuck up all these people. And I can't wait for the review next week because I'm very curious, Taylor. How do you feel? Let's say the Illuminati's in, like, they're in this movie, they confirm. But let's say Wanda, for whatever reason, maybe we'll. I don't know.
Whatever reason.
No, I was just going to say, like, let's say she kills all these Illuminati people, right? But the problem is, like, we don't know, because what if the Illuminati people are bad? They could be like, we have your kids and we're not giving them back. So I was going to ask, like, oh, if she kills these people, even though they're multiverse people, like, can she come back as a character? But we can't talk about that next week because we don't know her motivations yet, right?
She can come back. If she took over a whole town as hostage, I believe she can come back.
But she didn't kill any of them. Imagine she kills Xavier from a different universe, Captain Carter from a different universe.
We've seen that these different characters from different universes are not always good. They have ulterior motives, and I think, again, like, killing bad people doesn't make you necessarily a hero. It like the whole Batman paradox. But like,
I meant in the sense, what if these were good people trying to be like, Wanda, you got to stop, and she just took them out? I don't know if she could come back from that. I think
no, if she's willingly killing heroes, then that's very different. So.
Yeah, what if they're heroes, but they're like, we can't let you have your kids because if you had your kids, you like destroy the multiverse or something? That's a big gray area.
That is a big gray area. I mean, she had her kids for a whole, like, what, 3 half-hour segments of a sitcom, and she's just super attached to them. So
S Bubs, you bastard. You're always on. I do like that you've been a bit more careful lately, but you're always on the precipice of spoiling somebody. It's like, I won't say anything with the rumored, I'll just say blank cameo has me more excited. Feels very much like the Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man movies. There was this TV spot day where it showed Doctor Strange. He's at the wedding of Christine, and he jumps off the balcony, and he has his like wedding suit on, the tuxedo, and then like the cape catches him. Felt very much like Raimi, and that's why the two things I'm most excited for. Sure, the cameos are great, but I'm excited to see Wanda, and I'm excited to see a fucking Sam Raimi Marvel movie again. Like the fact that he's directing, man, I can't wait. They need to give her a jetpack to at least give her something against Wanda, because that shield, with only that shield, she's gonna get decimated. I don't think the jetpack's gonna do much else. It might give her a bit more time, but and then
Well, she could be Thanos, right? Like, remember when she was like holding Thanos in like stasis, and he's like, "Rain fire, do it!" Like, yeah, Captain Carter doesn't have that ability, so
they just rain fire in the Illuminati. There's like missiles, but yeah, go a little bit. Yeah, this is the big one. So that yellow chair, which one day, Taylor, we'll get there. That's the chair from the X-Men animated series. Chris had this theory for probably about 6 months of Marvel Alliance that the Xavier we're going to see was from the Marvel animated show. I never fully agreed with him. I think that they're going to have the look of him, but they're never going to be like, and I'm from that cartoon series, or he's not going to be like, I'm from that time, because like I just don't see it happening. I don't see them specifically saying this is that Xavier. I think they're just going with that yellow chair, this suit. I think they're going with it. Okay, you know how we get that classic Thor costume, the classic Wanda costume? The
Yeah.
reason we get those is because we see them only for a little bit. I think because we're only going to see Xavier for like 15 minutes before something really bad happens to him. That's why they're like, oh, make him look comic booky as fuck, because then we're going to get rid of him. So that's why I think, the classic look is from that cartoon where he has the yellow chair and this green suit. So that's why I think he's looking that way.
that is the track record for all these characters wearing their OG costumes. Even look at old Loki, right?
Yes.
He dies, and then you have I guess Wanda and Vision. Not necessarily they don't die, but it's only an episode sitcom, so they can spin it however they like, right?
And Thor looks like it's in 5 seconds. He's just running in the forest
Exactly.
and it's gone,
Yeah.
I'm Xavier from the hit series X-Men. I would love it if he did that, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But
So this is definitely a different Xavier, not the same one from Logan.
yeah, that's correct. That's which I why are you laughing?
I just after the experiences that guy went through, and then he just manifests here. Just that would be fucked up.
I'm back, and then pissed off Wanda's in front. He's like, oh no, and like that's Well, it's so funny. You look at he died in X-Men 3, came back. He died in Logan, and then
He's gonna die again.
He's gonna probably die again here, and and that's what's interesting, because it's so funny, and this is where I'm getting into like more like rumors and whatnot. But people have had this idea that one is either gonna kill or fuck up the Illuminati for quite a while now, because we've seen scenes of her like fighting people in it, right? So it's not gonna go well. I don't know if you remember us covering this, where maybe you were on the show, I can't remember, but I've said remember too many times. We were talking about Hugh Jackman. There was rumors that they had offered him a role in this, and the role was going to be that he was going to fight Wanda, but then Wanda was going to destroy him. Now, one, is that trying to insinuate that Wolverine is going to be in the Illuminati? I don't think that really matches, but still, you can put anyone on here, right? And it's like, okay, they're just a classic character. I do, because at first I was like, look at what they are doing with Tobey and Andrew. I don't know if I believe they would just take this legendary character like Hugh Jackman and get him just like messed up by Wanda. But if this group of people, including Xavier, just gets messed up by Wanda, I believe that storyline. Like, I believe that was the pitch. And I'm very happy that Hugh Jackman did not do that, because he is worth more. If Hugh Jackman were to come back, he's worth what they did with like Toby and Andrew. He deserves that type of highlight of like screen time presence, not just like Xavier. I know it sounds bad because Patrick Stewart is great and all, but I just feel like he's more of a character you get away with that because he died so many times and he's come back so many times. It's like, oh, we're just doing it one more time. If Hugh Jackman ever comes back, that's like a big moment, right? It's like, oh no, he's back for a movie. So if he was actually in the Illuminati and it just fucked him up, I'm actually pretty glad he turned that down. I think he made the right call, because that's not how I'd want to see Hugh Jackman back. So do you think there was any truth to those rumors? Now we've seen a few of these scenes and whatnot from the trailers.
I think there's probably some truth to it. I honestly think that when you're doing a movie like this with the multiverse at play, I think Disney put their little Oliver Twist hands out, and we're just asking for more from all these characters or actors, I guess. And I think there's credibility there. So, depending, obviously, we're gonna see how many of them said yes and wanted those Disney dollars, and we'll figure out how many probably said no. I'm sure after this movie comes out, we'll get a lot of information of actors coming forward, finally saying, "Yeah, Disney approached me, but I'm doing the Andrew Garfield thing, retiring from acting, and all that stuff." So
You said taking a break, not retiring.
that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Anything else on that character reveal?
Negative.
Well, we did it. That was a big one. I did not foresee that happening because I thought we had some smaller topics today, but going almost a full 2 hours here, which is good because I think there'll be a newscast next week. But next week you guys got Halo, we got Moon Knight, and then we got Doctor Strange. So I think we will try to work one in, but it'll probably just be one next week. So we'll keep you updated. That's why you always follow us on Facebook or Twitter, because we will announce it. I think there'll at least be one newscast, but it's busy next week. Lots of stuff going on. I'm excited. It's a week away. Doctor Strange. I think that's going to be a very fun review. No matter what cameos are in there, I think we're going to have a really good time, and hopefully it's a good movie, and hopefully it just sets up a lot of shit. And I'm ready, especially because with Moon Knight, I'm a little underwhelmed with the show, so I'm ready for Marvel to fucking wow me again.
Yeah, well, we'll have to do some draft tallies because I think you got yours and Kirklin's draft, and then we got the overall MCU.
I think we'll do that the next week though, because I feel like
be a long night.
Yeah, that's why we can do it the next week, where we'll do a draft update, and that could be a news segment. If we had another one on there, because we still got to talk the Avatar trailer that night too. Remember? So.
Oh yeah, that's at least an hour. So.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's an hour. But like SBub says, that's honestly one of the things I'm most excited about. Is I'm just excited to see a new Raimi movie, a Raimi Marvel movie at that. And absolutely, it's been since 2007. I'm ready for him to redeem himself after Spider-Man 3, which is not the greatest outing, but
and Danny Elfman too, right?
Yep.
I mean, that score, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, they're all back together. So thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. And I promise when you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Bye bye.